these Kangaroos. They belong on big stages.
Well done by Lucas. There's Matthews. Gets it outside 50 momentarily. Is Rioli to Jacobs to Blumfield, who is directly in front, kicking in the end from about 53 metres out. This will be a real tester.
Just kept the ball alive in their forward line, the Bombers. They kick it off the ground, they get the quick handball out, they just never let the ball stop, and as a result they'll get an
Essendon free kick.
So the Bombers on top at the moment. Jacobs, who's become a terrific defender for the Bombers. That one just giving the Swans a chance, but Alessio still the man of the moment. Now there's no one to the left of screen here. If the Swans win the ball, there's just vacant land in front of Barry Hall. The players rushing down there, his wobbly kick, and again Alessio taking the mark. Wellman, well measured, Forster Knight. They congregate about 40 out from goal. Caracella with the run. McCurry, Kirk, couldn't stop him. Good tackling, Heffernan with the crumbs. Was there some hanging on there? Yep. Caracella, play on. Mark Johnson, again there could have been some hanging on, but he doesn't care. Mark Johnson brushing it aside easily. Unfortunately, for his sake, it's out of bounds on the full.
Gee, free kick to Caracella. He was held and the umpire wasn't prepared to pay it. But gee, there's plenty of targets in that Essendon forward line. All of them are on the move.
Creswell has the free kick next to the behind post.
He hasn't really got the wide short option, has he, here? Because there isn't one.
He goes long. Goods couldn't take the mark. Matthews quickly to Schwass, who kicks one back in the middle. Jason Johnson got a horrible bounce, but Fletcher's there. Great anticipation, I should say. As his kick just drops a little bit short, and it's cut off by Saddington. So Saddington goes wide, looking for Schauble. Well done by Rioli to spoil. He keeps it in play. No, he doesn't. And we have a throw in.
Robert, just looking at that play then, Saddington takes the mark, looks up, never ever raised his eyes back to the middle. And I reckon if you've got that much time, he saw the first Swans player and kicked it to him. You know, there were two Swans players just screaming for it in the middle. And I think that's about having that poise of knowing that you've got time.
Well, they've got some time here to try and sort this out. 3 Swans to 1, and the one wins out. Terrific. Young Welsh, fantastic stuff.
Terrific play, because had the Swans got a hand on that ball, there were 3-on-1 as you called, Hutto, and the young fella was just desperate to dive on it, force it out of bounds. And you can just see dives on it, just gets a hand on the footy, gets it over the line.
He looks all right too, doesn't he? It's only his 3rd game.
Been good.
Crouch. Now Hall leads back to the middle. He waited and then waited for the second lead. O'Loughlin. Spectacular, but not effective.
I tell you what, Barry's got the hands on the hips. He'll end up jobbing one of his teammates tonight. The last game.
Jared Crouch tagging Jason Johnson, of course. Jason Johnson in terrific form for the Bombers.
So Alessio doing the ruck work up the ground. Salmon resting at the other end. Mott, Ramanauskas, Swass, and once again a bounce. Essendon 5-1-31, Sydney 1-4-10. Maxfield, the lone goal kicker for the Swans, and Alessio the multiple for the Bombers. O'Loughlin getting it to the top of the square. Kurt had to spoil. Well picked up though. The Swans have got a chance. This is Matthews, and again the chance goes begging. 1-5, plays 5-1.
Had their chances, Malcolm.
Yeah, they have. They're just not clean, Robert, are they? Everything's a bit of a rush in a hurry, and you know, some people say, oh, they're playing poorly. Yeah, they are, but it's really the pressure of the moment, I think. The pressure of the whole season's on this game.
Forster Knight goes long. Good, spectacular. Couldn't hold on to it. Rioli gathers the crumbs. To half forward, Barnard.
One of the leads, the Bombers. They put the ball to a teammate, try to set each other up.
Caracella got caught a bit high. Umpire let it go. Back to McCurry. A snap from 45 into the goal square. Mark Johnson.
Yeah, he would have loved that. He's back. He started in the back pocket, and he was on Nicks. And about 10-12 minutes into the first quarter, he was moved into the forward line. And he just reads that better than everyone else.
And Mark Johnson, he's been put on a very tight angle, but he does have the opportunity to run around, give himself some space. he has kicked the Bombers' 6th.
She disgraced her family and is running scared.
Felicity, if that's you, you get yourself back here right now, you hear me?
Now, who's going to help her pick up the pieces?
Okay, we'll sort things out.
The good or the bad?
Come home.
I
Come away with me, Flick.
But don't you think you've heard enough, people?
When the people you love hate each other,
I've got 2 sisters that are never going to talk to each other again.
where does that leave you? Neighbours, 6:30 weeknights on 10.
And young Welsh on the boundary line. I think he got hurt when he pushed that ball over the boundary line a couple of minutes back.
And Damien Peveril on the ground. And what a remarkable recovery from Damien Peveril after breaking his arm on Anzac Day. The Swans going backwards at the moment, and that's pretty reflective of the situation, not just in this match, but in the season. Swans 1-5, Bombers 6-1. Swass. The margin 26 points. Goods working hard through the middle, trying to provide an option forward. Nothing doing, so Swass again forced to go long. They need some contested marks. And there's one, that's Brockman. Lee Brockman getting up to take it and quickly release it. Hall with the run, doesn't interfere with Saddington. Well done, they worked it out nicely. And Saddington pushing forward has a chance to have a shot for goal.
Well, they sure need it. They probably had the ball in their forward 50 as much as the Bombers, but they just haven't been clean, and certainly kicking for goal. 1 goal, 5 behind.
So Saddington has kicked 3 goals, 1 so far for the year. Normally a pretty nice kick of the footy. Let's see if he can ride this one home. And almost through, and now are behind. So once again, the Swans not able to capitalise. 1-6-12 to 6-1-37.
Swans employ the zone with some of the taller blokes down the middle. And once again, a fantastic kick from Fletcher.
You beat the zone when you can pass at 70 metres.
It was superb to Lucas, to the wing. Whistle on play here, and it's a free kick to the Swans. The Wharf, who offloads the handball, and eventually the mark's taken by Brockman, who came on a short time ago to replace Mott. Bolton. Puts Sydney back inside 50. His target is Hall, and Barry takes a very good one-hander. So that was probably the worst opportunity he had, but at least they kicked it to him on that occasion, and he didn't let his team down.
Was a terrific mark on the lead. Put up that left hand, able to secure the mark, but they've taken the ball forward, Malcolm, with 3 marks along the boundary line.
Barry Hall jammed on the boundary line. Has he threaded it through? He has. Hall's got his first for the night, and the Swans second, and that's a terrific kick from a very, very tight angle.
Yes, as I said before, I just think that breeze probably helps that side to kick a goal. It just sort of pushes it back in. Most of the other kicks we've seen have float across the side from that kick before from Saddington. But, yeah, they either stick or they don't stick, don't they?
Yeah, he looks like a player who's in form, doesn't he? And I think that's why he's a bit angry that they're not playing to him enough.
6-1 plays 2-6. Swans with more scoring shots, far less centre breaks. Last week the Bombers got cleaned up by St Kilda on the centre breaks, despite the fact that they thrashed the Saints. They were beaten comprehensively out of the middle. So far they've started well. Adam Goods, who hasn't had a touch yet, now he has, but the Swans just recapturing perhaps a little bit of form. Hall a long way from home. Fletcher stayed with him all the way. He wanted a free for in the back. I guess it does give them some hope, though, doesn't it, Robert, knowing that he is in form and if they can just get it to him.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of confidence to know you've got a forward who's marking well and kicking well.
So getting towards the end of this opening quarter. One more would be very handy for the Swans before the first break. Nix and Forster Knight. That's a courageous effort. No mark, though. No reward for effort, and the ball out of bounds. Salmon and Brockman doing the ruck work here for the Swans. Giving away a lot of height, but he judged that nicely. Nix, can he push off Forster Knight? He went to ground, was trying to get it free. O'Loughlin. There's little opportunities that the Swans need to take that they're not able to at the moment. And again, missing the lot.
Well, believe it or not, it's 12 to 14 inside 50, so...
They're getting a fair bit of the ball, aren't they, Sydney? Been better the last 6 or 7 minutes.
Wellman to the wing. Mark Johnson attacked it. So did Seymour. And it'll be a ball up. Umpire Brett Allen. Umpires tonight, Brett Allen, Matthew James and Matthew Head.
Jason Johnson gone to the goal square for the Bombers. He's really struggling. He's only had the one possession, one handball. His opponent, Jared Crouch, is doing a fine job. Everywhere he goes, every step of the way, young Crouch is with him.
Throw in. Having a great year as Jason Johnson. Yeah, that's a throw, says the umpire. And it's a free kick to Adam Goods. So Goods, his first disposal of the evening to Salmon, who couldn't hold on to it. Hall did well. Great bullet kick work to Williams, who could have run another 20 metres, but it doesn't matter because he's kicked the Swans third.
You've got two types of people. You've got those who go for cloth and those who go for leather. Now, the cloth seats are fine, don't get me wrong, but you should always go for leather because leather is easier to keep clean.
You'd be popular too if you were offering tax-free cars and trucks like Laser LXI, tax-free, Falcon, tax-free, and XL Utes, tax-free, but only till June 30 and only from your Ford dealer.
So they've got a couple back now, the Swans. So they need to make sure they don't lose one here. Bolton, Swass, sorting things out through the middle. Wharf back for his first game since round 8 last year. Around the corner, Fixter's been busy for them. Here's Brockman in some space. Had time to try and hit up Barry Hall, and that's exactly what he did.
So they do go wide, though, don't they? This is their 5th or 6th attack, and no one's had a shot straight on goal yet, have they? It's just amazing. It was a wonderfully weighted kick.
Yes, yeah.
That's the perfect kick to a forward.
He is in form, isn't he? He's just looking terrific, Big Barry, as long as they can get it to him.
Well, he just may have mishit that a little bit. And are behind. The Swans 7th behind. 3-7-25. The margin 12 points.
Fletcher. It's 10 scoring shots to 7 in favour of the Swans. Peveril drills it long. Oh, running back with a fight of the ball. Ramanauskas takes extreme courage. Now Sydney get it. Poor kick. Tail forward. You heard Malcolm Blight's side. Gave O'Loughlin no chance. Clever soccer off the ground by Ramanauskas. Barnard on hands and knees coughs it up to Crouch. To Matthews. Now Matthews inside 50.
Well, that's, I mean, he coughs up the first one through a 10-metre kick with someone up a teammate's jumper, and he does that again. I mean, that's...
Speaking of coughing up, another turnover.
Yeah. I mean, but, you know, he's played enough footy now not to panic the second time.
Adam Goods has made a fast break. He has run 60 metres to get that ball, Hutto. He took off from inside the centre square. Again, they're wide, Malcolm, but at least they're getting the ball.
Not much time left for them here to try and get a goal. In fact, it's going to all come down to Adam Goods.
Now, maybe you should try a Malcolm Blight torpedo.
No, he's too close. Drop punts. Easy.
Well, how far out do you have to be to go for a torp?
Oh, 80s. Tricky.
Well, Adam Goods kicked 4 last week, so perhaps he's got some form on his side. And we know that Barry Hall negotiated the angle. Wouldn't have given them a boost going into quarter time. Wouldn't have given them a huge boost. It's... Oh, hang on. It's got to be no score. The touch went forward, didn't it?
It's got to be a goal.
Get away, says the umpire.
Because it was
no score. I think it's going to be no score. Has to be no score or a goal, surely. And no score. Here's the result. So Adam Goods gave it a fair crack. And no boost for Rodney Eade just yet. Quarter time and...
Leave that alone, Anthony.
Let's have a look at this.
Well, they did last week, Malcolm.
Well done by Jacobs and Fletcher to get behind the goal line and fly from behind. But 10 scoring shots to Sydney in the first quarter is a very positive sign.
So quarter time at Stadium Australia, this historic match, Saturday night football. It is the Bombers leading the Swans by 2 straight kicks.
The only show where the host is this honest.
The most subtle microphone in history. When I get a bit of action, my pants split as well.
This week, Chris Isaac, Adam Hills and more. Plus former Bond girl Britt Eklund. The man with the golden tongue. Road 9:30 Tuesday.
You with the sad eyes. Don't be discouraged, though I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all, and the darkness inside you makes you feel so small. But I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show you true colors. Your true colors are beautiful like a rainbow.
Every day, millions of people worldwide use Gillette razors, Nokia telephones, and eat Kellogg's cornflakes. Why shouldn't Australian investors share in the earnings of companies like these?
Our international investment team selects quality companies with strong earnings growth. We help you share in the wealth created by global companies.
Colonial First State, the smart way to secure your future.
Can I help you there?
Thanks.
Every cigarette is doing you damage. This is part of an aorta, the main artery from the heart. Smoking makes artery walls sticky and collect dangerous fatty deposits. This much was found stuck to the aortal wall of a smoker, age 32. Every cigarette is doing you damage.
Monday, a vicious assault.
She's in critical condition, but she is still alive.
Is it a case of love gone wrong?
I'm responsible for this.
Or something much more sinister?
Anything else we don't know about these people?
A gripping SVU, 9:30 Monday.
So the margin 15 points, and the Bombers going forward again. Alessio getting it in very quickly. Mercury is out and taking the no mark. Rioli pouncing on it and kicks a goal.
And again, another Essendon
Quarter
set of
time
clearance.
at Stadium Australia. It is the Bombers leading the Swans by 2 straight kicks. Steve Alessio is the only bowlable goal scorer in the game with 2. He came on at the start of the game when David Hill hurt himself on the warm-up. He wasn't allowed to start, but Steve Alessio came on straight as the siren sounded. There he is, and made an immediate impact, kicking 2 early goals. Perfect start for him, and you had noted at the time that was probably the best start he's had for some time.
Yes. I did say, I think with tongue-in-cheek, that it was a great rest he had for a second.
He's had 7 disposals, Malcolm. That'll be the best first quarter effort he's ever had.
You did that to Paul Couch and Mark Bairstow one day in a final, didn't you, Malcolm?
Yes, Anthony.
And
the
the
rankings.
Player rankings. Wayne Schwash should be pleased with his first quarter. He's had 10 disposals, been in the thick of the action. As we stated earlier, he wanted to play more midfield forward than defensive roles that he's been given, and Barnard's been very lively across half forward.
Let's go down the boundary line. Former Bulldogs and Swans star Neil Cordy.
Yes, Quarters, the Swans are pretty happy with the way they finished that quarter. I've some concern, though, with Barry Hall getting treatment on a groin. He just clutched for it in the last few minutes of that quarter, and you can see him there getting some treatment from Dr. Nathan Gibbs. He seems to be manageable at this stage, and they're hopeful that it won't be too big a problem.
Thank you, Neil Cordy. There's another game being played tonight at Colonial Stadium, and it's quarter time. I wonder if the flood's on, gentlemen. It's St Kilda 4 behind, the Tigers 2-1-13.
Looking at those scores, you'd suggest it might be.
Yeah.
So back here at Stadium Australia, ready for a start to the second term. It's Essendon 6-1-37, Sydney 3-7-25.
Just look at the Essendon forward line, Malcolm, and Lucas is the key to it. In the absence of Hurd and Lloyd, I think he's been very good. He really does present. We saw a couple of times he threw himself at marks running back, which takes a lot of courage. Didn't mark it, but caused the spill.
Yeah.
And Alessio was able to kick a couple.
Yeah, I agree, Robert. He's been very lively.
These two teams tonight playing for the Marn Brook Trophy. We'll explain that a little later on. Being presented tonight by one of the most famous sports people Australia's ever produced, and Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley. Sydney go forward first in the second turn through Crouch. Nix, little chip kick. That was very clever to O'Loughlin, and O'Loughlin will have a shot from about 45 metres out, and that was very clever.
Quick clearance, that was part of it. Sydney got the quick clearance into their forward line, and Nix was on the move at half forward. As the grubber kick came out to him, he was really alert to lead out and take it, and then looked to put it to advantage. O'Loughlin over the back of Wellman.
Michael O'Loughlin hasn't had a great start to the season. He's kicked one behind this evening. He's kicked 8 goals in his 8 games this season. And he has missed it to the right. Is it still in play? No, it's through for a rush behind. So it's Essendon 6-1. The Swans move on to 3-8. The margin 11 points in favour of Essendon.
Yeah, he's looked livelier tonight, but once again, that kicking's just not quite... He's a much better kick than that, isn't he? That goal, particularly.
Again, Fletcher getting it in quickly. Brockman, who seems to be running with the ruckman after the centre bounce. Johnson, good work. Salmon,
out of bounds.
He was already over, so we'll see a throw-in. Swans slightly into attack.
Jason Johnson got the quick handball, but gee, Jared Crouch has been wearing him like a glove. You can just see there in picture at front of this boundary throw-in.
Again, Salmon, body too big at the boundary throw-ins. Maxfield, though, reading it nicely. Here's Fletcher, he's left Hall behind, so he'll want to use it well. McVeigh, the switch wasn't on. They're all manned up beautifully. No one could lay the tackle. Heffernan under pressure. Fletcher just trying to charge through. Good pressure by the Swans. Great presence, though, by the Bombers. And patience shown by Heffernan. He kicks for Lucas. Well done. Tremendous skill shown there by the Bomber defence.
It was terrific, wasn't it? Relay handball. Finally, Heffernan freed up.
Alessio on fire. Let that one go for Mercury. Sort of, anyway. Gets a lead from Jacobs, who's pushed forward, goes the other way. Barnard's clear, and he's a strong mark in that situation. And Barnard to shoot for goal.
Is that what you call earning them?
Yeah, the old earning one. He wasn't originally recruited as a full forward from East Perth, and he always been able to lead. And remember in that grand final, he kicked forward, didn't he, in the grand final? So he knows actually where the goals are.
And what the Bombers do when they're 60, 70, 80 metres out from goal, Mark Mercury just held onto the ball and waited till a teammate gave a lead. Essendon passed the ball into their forward 50 better than any other side in the comp.
The other thing they do, Robert, is they don't get in each other's way. They clear themselves out.
And we saw O'Loughlin miss from a similar shot only 2 minutes ago.
Barnard's kicked 7 goals, 5 for the year, and he's also missed.
Yep.
So 3-8 playing 6-2.
Sydney players just about right down the middle of the ground. Essendon have got the zone defence set up. And you can see the Sydney boys, they've lined up down the middle. Now they're starting to break wide.
Schross decides on the short option to Williams. So Williams, not much to kick to at the moment.
He's been told to hurry up.
Yep. Now it goes long. Lucas from behind. You've got to pay the man in front, no doubt about that. And that's Jason Saddington. Saddington, good hard running by Schross, creating the option. Oh, his teammate probably spoiled him in the end. Peveril couldn't gather it. Now Crouch, he's been good. Around the corner, 2-on-1 here. O'Loughlin got the front posse, but beautifully done by Fletcher. Just got the arm in and knocked it over the line. That's great backmanship.
Let's get down to Neil Cordy just to check on the ground conditions, Cords.
Yes, Quarters. Just only a few days ago they played Rugby League State or Origin here, and you see Mark McVeigh slip on right about where the sideline was for that particular match, and it's really starting to chop up.
So the ball deep in attack. High kick from Brockman. Hall's got his chance. Seymour went in the end. He had to. Peveril against him. Kirk over the top of it. Heffernan. Here's Brockman again. Barry Hall just got himself clear enough to get it into the square. Salmon able to take the big hulking chest mark. And Paul Salmon, such a huge figure out there, isn't he?
Well, he just drops back into that defensive hole, something he's been doing for about 15 years.
Peveril, it's a wobbly kick. Jacobs. Forced tonight to Heffernan. Rioli, good hands to Jacobs, breaks the tackle, and now he's off and running. Danny Jacobs to half forward and finds McVeigh.
They try to put it to a player on the lead every time, the Bombers, and again.
Barnard has the footy. He's 55 out. Oh, the kick is a shocker. And Neil Cordy was spot on. Just a few players starting to slip now.
Particularly towards the boundary line.
Yeah. Well, that was more just a miss kick than anything else, wasn't it?
Just a poor kick.
Alessio, Schauble, Alessio, full of confidence now. Saddington, he failed a little late, but it was okay. Maxfield, again the boundary line, the target.
Swans are pushing back a little bit. You know, one of the problems when you're doing that is that you run out of space because there's too many of your teammates there. When you get the footy in a so-called flood or slightly flood, I mean, there's so many of your teammates there, it covers up a lot of space as well.
And when you get it, Malcolm, sometimes you've got to wait for one of them to get forward of you.
Exactly.
6-2 playing 3-8. Close to the line, and again it's over and out. So 12 points the margin here. Stadium Australia. 3-7 in the first quarter. The Swans kicked. Essendon kicked 6-1 so far in this term. Just a behind each. Brockman again with Salmon. Blumfield has to have another go at it. Caracella hasn't had the influence he had last week at this early stage. And again, a ball up.
Pretty important stage in the game right here. We talked about that first quarter and a half. I thought Swans are really trying to hang in there now. And the next goal, I know every goal is important in a game of footy, but gee, the next goal here is super important.
Here's Rowan Wharf to Goods. Shows a turn of speed. He's looking for O'Loughlin.
Saddington's broken free into space.
O'Loughlin kicks in the direction of Saddington. Grabs it on the bounce. To Kirk. Over the top. This is a great build-up to Fixter. I don't know who he was handballing to. Eventually went to Nix, though. Maxfield, gang tackle. And we'll have a ball up.
Great tackling by the Bombers. And I think Fixter's handball just mucked the flow up. They looked pretty dangerous as they came down. Great running by Saddington, who was able to get off Lucas to run to the half-forward flank and receive.
Change for the Swans as Fosdyke comes on and Curtin comes off for a break. Deep in Sydney's attacking territory. Salmon swats it towards the boundary line. O'Loughlin coming into the game. It's a left foot snap. O'Loughlin so far this evening has kicked 3 behinds. And it is Essendon 6-2-38. Leading Sydney 3-9-27. Margin 11 points, and we'll be going 8 minutes in this second term.
Again, Fletcher letting fly as quick as he can. The Swans, numbers through the middle here. Have to be careful with the handball. There's lots of space if Essendon can get the footy. Mark Johnson, Fosdyke, the umpire already blown the whistle. And calling for a bounce.
Very, obviously, it's a very city-orientated crowd. They certainly know their rules. You know, there's no hangers-on here tonight.
Yeah, I just having a look. The number of free kicks has been so few free kicks. It's been a very clean game of footy.
Lucas, again, providing a target, and it's pretty open down there for the Bombers. McCurry, Williams stalking him. No interference. And Barnard really having a crack in there. He kept it alive. Oh, that was, well, looked a little bit overconfident. Rioli, I guess he always looks a little bit that way. And the ball over the boundary line.
Essendon just dominating the hit out 16-6, and that last move forward was the result of Salmon's dominance at that bounce down on the wing.
Is he conceding the taps, Rodney Eade, by having Brockman just to have the more run around the boundary, around the ground?
May well be. And you'd expect Alessio to out-ruck Shawble in this ruck contest here.
Alessio got a fist to it. Wellman can't keep it in. So no goals in this second quarter so far, which has been going close to 10 minutes. Alessio against Shawble once again. And will be another stalemate. So not much happening at the moment.
Down the other end of the ground, interesting move, Malcolm. Wellman's been playing on O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin 10 disposals early second quarter. The move's been made to put Ramanaskas on him, who's much shorter.
Great tap by Alessio to Rioli. But the Swans are up to the challenge. Williams in heavy traffic. Buys himself some space. But only as far as Alessio, who has now come out for his 9th disposal. Drives it long. Salmon's the mismatch. And the big fish. Well, if you want to go for a toilet break, now's the time, because the fish is lining up for goal.
Well, let's time it.
Here we go. Go, Rob.
Well, you've only got 15 seconds, and the umpire will say hurry up, and if you don't hurry up, they will take it off you, Malcolm, and give a free kick to the opposition. Now, that's the rule, as it has been for a long time. I think it's crazy. Why not just call play on the player with the ball?
Up go the Sox.
Robert, I was starting to fall asleep. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Well, we're 50 there. Let's watch the umpire, see what he says.
He'll say nothing.
So the big fish. Then he comes directly in front. And he has missed. (6-3 to 3-9). 11 minutes gone in this second quarter.
Sorry, Stephen. The thing is, our game, scoring is one of the great things about it. Unlike a lot of other sports with low scores, so I think we probably should give him a bit more time to get the goal.
Spoken like a true forward.
Carousella linking up with Ramanaskas, run out of space. And the Swans defence team up pretty well. Nick's nowhere to go, so he took his full complement waiting for Hall, but just couldn't get enough penetration on the kick. Look at Fletcher, accelerating through the middle, Dustin Fletcher. His kick wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. Ramanaskas, Swice hemmed him in beautifully, holding the ball. Yes, he's gone.
#1 tackling team in the AFL, Sydney. They're well down in lots of other areas, but this is their strength. They tackle better than anyone else.
She's fired up tonight, Wayne Schweiss, isn't he?
He has got that look in the eye.
Yeah, the mad stare.
Lots of congestion ahead, but he did well with the kick. Seymour. Again, nothing obvious. Most of the players banked up at around centre-half forward. He goes wider than that. Good spoil from O'Loughlin, giving Hall the chance. Creswell off the left. It was all right. Williams just too far out to score. Maxfield's back in the goal square. He's got Fosdyke demanding it at centre-half forward. Bombers manning up. Fosdyke kept on leading it. Bounced off the umpire's leg. Good aggression shown by Matthews. Seymour kept it alive for the Swans. Brockman delivers. It was pretty tough for his forward in Nicks. Shawble coming through. Maxfield, now he's a left footer. He's got a free go at goal. He's missed the lob ball a long way. Out of bounds on the fourth.
Gee, that's disappointing because he had everything set up for himself. Stewie Maxfield swung around onto his left boot, only about 48, 49 metres out. And we can see an angry Wayne Schwass claiming the ball from Ramanaskas.
Mark Johnson in the back pocket for Essendon. Clears it outside defensive 50. Finds McVeigh in the midfield. McVeigh can run on. This is great transfer of play by the Bombers. He finds Barnard all of a sudden on attacking 50.
better foot skills, Essendon.
Barnard. No one home, so he drives it long. Carousel one out in the goal square. Could be a free kick to Sydney. Umpire said no. No, now he pays it for a hold. Got away with the first one, Carousel, but not the second one.
Watch it done reasonably well there to keep his body between him and the ball, hasn't he? It's
Matthews.
Yeah. Didn't have to mark it. Didn't have to go for it. Just keep Carousel away from it.
I think he knew Carousel is very dangerous overhead. He just couldn't afford him to have the slightest run at it.
Great leap from Goods. Had the ball over the boundary line. And once again, a throw in. 6-3, playing 3-9 here. So it has been a while for both sides, really. No goals in this quarter, but particularly the Bombers.
Just a good contest. Even though we haven't had goals, it's a good contest, swinging from one end to the other.
Brockman did well that time. Provided an opportunity for Williams. Now, Bolton versus Mark Johnson. This will be a good test of the pace of both players. Well, maybe that could have been a free. Saddington there to help out. Fosdyke, Heffernan the spoiler. Well done, Nick Fosdyke. And he broke quickly. Hall's got a chance here. He read it beautifully. And then he missed the mark. He did all the hard work. Was that holding the ball? It was. The umpire didn't give him much chance. Hall needs to finish the work for the Swans. And he has. He's finished it off. And the Swans get the first one.
Here we see a wild pigman in its natural environment. These strange creatures become attached to whoever pulls them from the ground, loyal and obedient. Pigmen work together to fight large predators like this grub dog, even if it means getting eaten. As night falls, the pigmen return to their nest to rest for another day of hard work. Hang in there, little guys. Pigmen. Only for Nintendo GameCube.
So the Swans firing back at Stadium Australia. There's just a goal in it. It's the Bombers 6-3. The Swans 4-9, and here comes Sydney again. Schwass to half forward. Bolton looking to get it moving quickly. O'Loughlin in space. Also Maxfield. He gets there first. Can't take the slider. Bombers have the numbers. McVeigh.
Lovely kick.
Very clever chip to Alessio on centre wing. Barnard. Goes short.
Yeah, this is where they hate to waste the ball. Always try to put it to advantage out in front. The big fish.
Doing the roving is Blumfield. Sydney out of trouble. Fosdyke blazed away to the wing. Getting there is Heffernan. Gets the kind bounce. So here come the Bombers again. Looking for Salmon. And he takes the mark.
It's interesting, isn't it? Far too many short passes. The Swans players are just letting them go. I mean, they're easy kicks for a forward.
Salmon, an uncontested Mark McCurry.
Yeah,
and he'll line up directly in front.
Paul Williams is McCurry's opponent, and he didn't go for it. He just thought the big fellas would do the marking, and you just can't afford to do that. You've just got to go with your player. He's let himself and his side down there, Williams.
So Mark McCurry, no score so far tonight. He's kicked 3 goals this season. And it's bread and butter for him from here. But would you believe it? They've got the disease now, the Bombers.
Something about that end, I think.
And it is Sydney 4-9-33. The Bombers 6-4, 47 points. Essendon team lead by, and we've gone 17 and a quarter minutes in this second term.
He went the short option after breaking from fullback Wayne Schwass. Saddington, who's pushed up the ground quite a bit so far tonight. 6-4, plays 4-9.
6 marks to Saddington. Good contest, Saddington, Lucas.
Again, very congested at half forward. Goods. He made the contest, didn't he? And he allowed Bolton to take it off the pack. One-on-one. Hall at the front and takes a good, strong grab. It's going to be a fantastic duel for the rest of the night.
Well, it's the first time they've been one out with a bit of time. The ball coming down on top of them. A big Barry got in front, arms outstretched, and Fletcher couldn't get a fist on it. Not many players are able to take a mark in front of Fletcher when the ball takes a bit of time to come down.
Well, Barry Hall kicked 27 goals for the season going into tonight. And this for number 3 to get the Swans within 1 point. It wasn't good contact. So again, it's an even goal, the difference at Stadium Australia.
Fletcher to bring it back in. He usually goes long, and this is no exception. Once again, perfect kick as he finds Alessio. Alessio,
13th disposal.
having a great night. To Mark Johnson, to half-forward Jacobs. Gee, so that was a mark, yeah. Umpire said no, and we got a throw in, about 60 metres out from the Bombers' goal. There's young Shane Harvey, brother of the Kangaroos' Brent. He's just been on for a couple of minutes. It's Salmon, just again with sheer height and strength, wins out into the forward 50. Great mark.
Terrific mark. Got in front, held his ground, and Williams is struggling to defend. And I think Kevin Sheedy realises that, so he's keeping Mark Mercuri close to goals.
Robert, as a forward, did you like a defender that always played you from behind?
I was happy for a defender to play from behind, because you just had that first crack at anything in front, and he's nailed it. They needed that one.
Broken clear, a long 60-metre bomb. Big pack forms in the goal square. Oh, what a grab! What an absolute screamer! Oh, that's got to be grab of the year.
What a Carlton, thanks.
Gee, that's good value.
You've been paying too much for too long.
Who ever heard of an AM/FM radio cassette player for just $69? Paunch of Allure dash mats are just $29.99 and 5 litres of Castrol GTX just $9.99.
And again, Malcolm, we look at Mercuri. He's immediately moved to the goal square. And I think Kevin Sheedy's saying, well, I think I can get a win there because Williams is struggling to defend on him.
Well, the ruckmen are absolutely slaughtering him at the moment too, aren't they? All around the ground. Their last goal came from Salmon grabbing it out of the ruck. That time it was Alessio out of the middle. And you wonder, how long Ricky Mott can stay on the ground.
Got to get Mott back on, don't they?
Yeah, 19-7, the hit-outs in the Bombers' favour. Now, that is a domination. And as you called it, Mott's coming onto the boundary, coming across the boundary line now.
So Brockman coming off.
And young Mott coming on.
Once again, though, what about a defender playing in front and taking the game up to them? It's from a 50-50. It wobbled forward.
Well, the Bombers counter-punching here with 1 goal from Mercuri, and then it's a bad miss or big leap. Well done from Adam Goods. Hasn't done a lot on the stat sheet, Adam Goods, but he's done a bit of hard work as he's been back to make a few saves and punches.
Covering a lot of ground. And Williams to do the kicking in. Essendon have got the zone defence. They've been going wide to the pocket, and again they do it. Nicks the receiver.
Don't know about the injuries down there tonight, Robert, but I think co-commentator here's cramping up in the box. Bit cold for you, Steve.
Ball goes to half-back. Goods lays the tackle. Mercuri is locked up by Matthews. Schwass again attacking it. And they got a ball up.
Who would have thought Alessio would have had most possessions for Essendon, 14. Second highest Barnard forward. All Barnard does is lead up.
So bounce down. It's Mott against Alessio. There's Peveril. Crouch. Good tackle by Caracella. The Crouch has no alternative but to head for the boundary. Williams and Mercuri. Ooh. The tussle. And that's silly by Mark Mercuri. You've been caught by the umpire and by the cameras. And that's a free kick to Paul Williams. So Mercuri got sucked in there. That will not please Kevin Sheedy as we have a throw in. And they're still at it off the ball. Ooh. Still at it off the ball.
A bit of a Liverpool kiss, wasn't it?
Second bloke always gets caught though, doesn't he?
Throw in. Bennett's on over the top. Bit of tunnel ball being played by Salmon. Fish did well in the end to get it to Ramanascus. Wobbles one inside 50. And cutting it off is Wharf, who's been good. He goes out wide to Goods. Adam Goods. His kick finds Fixter as the Swans work the ball to the wing.
Couple of targets across half forward. Went short of Fosdyke. Does he get it? No, he doesn't. He completed the mark over the line. Swass coming off for the Swans meantime. And Kirk back on. So we've got the boundary throw. Mott, let's see if he can be more competitive. Not just that, he won the ruck knockout, but he's given away the free to Paul Salmon.
You have to think that young Hill's not too good because he hasn't been on the ground at all in this first half. But then again, Salmon and Alessio are rucking so very well.
Yeah, why change it at this stage? Free kick, this time going Sydney's way. So Ben Matthews. Jared Bennett just on the ground. Fosdyke got it in quickly. Hall in front again. O'Loughlin lurking. He waited for the ball to come loose. Hall, Jason Johnson stripped him of it and then got the kick away. It was great stuff. All Swans through the middle. Seymour didn't get there on the full. Perhaps he needed to. And now the Bombers have got the numbers and the acceleration. Peverill almost caught, but not quite. Harvey, Saddington conceding.
And that kick at Jason Johnson's was his very first of the night. He's had 3 handballs prior to that, but his opponent, Jared Crouch, doing a fine job cutting him out of the game.
Let's go down to Jared Waitley.
Quarters, David Hill has spent the whole first half now sitting quietly on the bench with the tracksuit top on. He's run up and down the boundary line a couple of times and been back to the rooms with the doctors a couple of times. I'll reassess him again at half-time, but I wouldn't expect him to have much of an influence tonight.
Saddington's taken the mark at half-back for Sydney. Goods over the top. Looking for Hall. Oh, sizzling pass by Goods. And Hall didn't let him down. So Barry, who's got 2 goals next to his name. 8 disposals, 4 marks. Goes sideways to Shawbull. Will he go back to Barry Hall? He won't. He'll have a shot from 48. It's across the face. And Salmon's happy to concede the behind. 7-6-48 the Bombers. Swans move on to 4-11-35.
Salmon's been just terrific that over a number of years. Those years at Hawthorn, he was just great at it, wasn't he? Park back there, cut him out.
And they've been effective from the kick-ins, the Bombers, and once again they release it easily. Ramanaskas getting it to the wing on the full though. His target out there was Heffernan. Bennett to take it. Had a few options on immediately. Now Hall leads again. Very close to the line it's going to be. We've seen it quite a lot of times. And again the ball is out of bounds. O'Loughlin playing out of the square, Malcolm.
Yeah, actually I'm pleased with that, just as a bit of a change-up. But a lot of the Swans players lead too early. I mean, all he had to do, as a player's going back for his kick, players start to lead. I mean, he's got no hope of kicking it to him.
You can't kick the ball when you're running backwards, can you? People have been saying that for about 50 years combined.
Yes.
Let's go back to Jared Waitley.
Quarters with 27 minutes gone in the quarter, and David Hill is just getting ready to come on for his first run of the half. I'd suspect that they'd just be seeing how he goes for a couple of minutes for that assessment at half-time. And as we speak, Sean Wellman is coming off, I think, under the blood rule, and Forster Knight will come back on for the Bombers.
Yes, Wellman, who's moved back onto O'Loughlin, is now off. Essendon have put Jacobs onto O'Loughlin, so that's a good move.
So ready to throw the ball in, about 55 metres out from the Swans' goal. Over the top from behind was Bennett.
And that's an interesting call, Stephen. Since Bennett's come onto the ground, he's come over the top of his own ruckman and Paul Salmon and Alessio, probably under instructions from Rodney Eade, because the Swans have been getting a belting in the ruck. He's going to do it again here.
Robert, just another little point there. As Forster Knight came back on the ground there, you can tell that Essendon are well drilled. I mean, we know that. I mean, she'd just be there so long. Every Essendon player was pointing where he should go.
Yeah.
I mean, if you see some teams do that, nothing ever said to them. It's just amazing.
Salmon tapped it to Johnson, but he lost it. Kick into the tip of the goal square. Hall got rid of Fletcher. He crunched him. And in fact, he's getting the free kick. The ball's coming back, and it's a free kick to Dustin Fletcher. Let's have a look here.
Just a hand on the back. Gee, well, technically it's a free kick. I've seen blokes been hit with sledgehammers and no free kicks paid, but still.
I thought they were illegal on footy grounds.
Well, they're missing their velvet sledgehammer tonight, aren't they? Matthew Lloyd. Jacobs. It was a hurried kick, and it gives the Swans a quick chance here. Seymour was tracking backwards, or Matthews. Not sure about the awareness. Eventually Williams. Certainly not 15. Bennett gets it in quickly. Gives Hall a chance. He just couldn't quite take it. Free kick again against Hall. Fletcher, and he'll release it quickly. He's got McCurry running from the wing. Will it make it? It will. Williams. And that's the siren. That quarter seemed to go pretty quickly, didn't it? 7:6:48 to 4:11:35. Here's why. It was low scoring. Essendon kicked 1 goal 5 for the quarter, and Sydney kicked 1 goal 4. And so it's 13 points the margin.
Well, I enjoyed the quarter, Malcolm, even though not many goals scored. In fact, only one by each side, but it's swinging from one end of the ground to the other. We can't really find a dominant forward in either side. Maybe Lucas, and certainly Barry Hall looms dangerous.
Yeah, look, it was. There were some easy goals missed there too. Some of the kicking hasn't been sensational, has it?
So at half-time here at Stadium Australia, it's an even contest. The Bombers have their noses in front by 13 points.
The official AFL Carlton Draft Mark of the Year competition. Get ready to choose the best mark from round 8. Is it Mark A, a freakish mark from Chris Tarrant? Or Mark B, a great leap from Shane Crawford? Or is it Mark C, this specky from Joel Bowden? For A, call 1902 555 025. For B, call 1902 555 026. For C, call 1902 555 027. Round 7's winner was Anthony Rocker. If Anthony's mark is chosen as the Carlton Draft Mark of the Year, he'll win a week's holiday for 2 at the Hyatt Regency Coolum. This week's callers have the chance to win a $250 AFL store gift voucher. All callers also get the chance to win a seat at the 2002 AFL Grand Final. And they also go into the major draw for a chance to win a trip for 2 to Ireland to see the 2002 International Rules Series. The official AFL Carlton Draft Mark of the Year.
The woman Nick Fallon wants has a fiancé.
I'm getting married.
Congratulations. They work close together, and things are getting really complicated.
Why do you have a problem with what I do with my life?
All new Guardian, 8:30 Wednesday.
When comparing one-ton vans, there's only one choice, the Mercedes-Benz MB Series. With more standard features than any other van in its class, only MB Series delivers air conditioning, power steering, power windows, central locking, and much more. Why drive any van when you can drive a Mercedes-Benz MB Series? Now until June 30th, an MB Series can be yours for $99 per week. No deposit, drive away.
What's this, Ralph? Oh, a new promotion for our 28-point suspension safety check, boss. I mean, for only $14, you get a complete inspection of all steering and suspension components, Petter's drive-on shock absorber test, an obligation-free analysis, and written report. And, boss, all this is carried out by Petter's expert technicians.
Petter's, straight advice specialists, you understand.
And no bull.
Lotto, the Italian sports company's massive liquidation sale of superseded sporting goods and apparel at crazy prices direct to the public at Lotto's warehouse. There's teamwear for $11, there's tennis clothing for $11, there's soccer training balls for $12, there's sports shoes for $19, there's football boots for $19, there's tracksuits, tennis and squash rackets, and heaps more at Lotto's direct to the public liquidation sale. Lotto's warehouse, 505 Hoddle Street, Clifton Hill, 10 to 5 this Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Don't miss out.
Anna, you'll see Anna at... I'm going to do the dates, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
The Panel, 9:30 Wednesday.
Half-time in this historic game at Stadium Australia. There's the Swans' rooms. They fought back into the contest. They trailed by 13 points at half-time after trailing by 12 points at the first break. 4:11:35 Sydney, Essendon 7:6:48. Hall 2, Williams 1, Maxfield 1. while for the Bombers, the major goal scorer is Stephen Alessio with a couple. Robert Walls, how do you say? We do have a contest, but Essendon probably just slightly going the better at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's been good by Sydney to fight back, because the first 10 minutes it was all Essendon, but wasteful kicking by Sydney's let them down. In general play, they've had as much ball as the Bombers, but they're not hitting targets as they go forward. Essendon certainly put the ball on the chest of a teammate far better than Sydney.
Steve Alessio, great start to the game, and he's had a great match.
Yes, he has. He's had a terrific first half. He came on, he kicked a couple of goals early. Delighted with that, but he's also rucked well, and the big fella's taken some marks around the ground, so he and Paul Salmon are doing the ruck work in the absence of young Hill.
Wayne Schwass just went off for a break there before half-time, but really led from the front.
I think he's been terrific, Wayne Schwass. A lot of talk about him through the week. He's been playing mainly defensive roles across half-back, a bit of tagging. He wanted to be freed up, and he's been given that freedom, and he's given it back to the coach, because he's got a lot of ball, and he's been their #1 possession getter in the first half. Been very aggressive with his tackling, and doing a lot of the kick-ins at full-back as well.
Jason Johnson's been very quiet by his standards. What about Mark Johnson? How have you seen his game?
Well, Mark Johnson started in the back line. He went forward, and he was able to kick that goal in the first term, and then he ended up going back into the back line. But he's playing a pretty good game and very versatile. Kevin Sheedy can swing him from one end of the ground to the other. Terrific pick-up there, and yeah, he's playing well.
Barry Hall very frustrated early when they wouldn't kick it to him, but he's fought his way back in the game very nicely.
He has, and you've got to admire Barry, because early in the game a couple of opportunities went begging, but he's worked his way back into it. I think this is a terrific contest. In fact, the contest of the night, Barry Hall on Dustin Fletcher, both very good players, but he kicked a couple of goals from the boundary line. He's certainly leading to the boundary all the time, and I'm sure Rodney Eade will say, look, try to give us a bit more down the middle of the ground.
What about the Swans' delivery, particularly up into their forward line?
Well, it hasn't been good enough, and you've got to give a lot of credit to that, to the Essendon team putting pressure on them, but some of it is unforgivable, as we saw there. And it really must break Rodney Eade's heart when he sees AFL players turning the ball over, and we see that one from Matthews, you know, just pretty disappointing, and that's something that Essendon do. They try to hit each other. We have a look at the stats there. There's not a great deal of difference between the teams, certainly in the marks, and that's because Essendon's foot passing is better than Sydney's, and also the marks inside the forward 50. Essendon always go out of their way to put the ball to a player on the lead, and we've seen Barnard and we've seen Mark Mercury several times take chest marks as the lead's been honoured by their teammates further downfield.
And let's have a look at the player rankings, and Steve Alessio, who is leading the way at quarter time, as we said, having a terrific game.
Well, Steve Alessio has been terrific, and I think Wayne Schwass has had a pretty good game as well. Barnard's also been good for the Bombers up forward. Jared Crouch gets a good mention there, because he's doing a really good job on Jason Johnson. Salmon's doing his bit, Fletcher, and Mark Mercury, Paul Williams is an interesting one, because they're playing on each other.
So at half-time at Stadium Australia, it is Essendon leading the Swans by 13 points. When we come back, a very special guest, Yvonne Goolagong-Crawley, speaking to Anthony Hudson.
Now you can enjoy a truly Malaysian holiday for 5 days and 4 nights from just $979. See your travel agent or call toll-free 1300 6565 66.
This minestrone is superb.
That's because Mama makes it with love. Every Sunday she goes out and chooses the freshest vegetables and herbs.
She then simmers it in a rich tomato broth until they're cooked al dente. It takes her all day, but she says, hey, it's nothing. Mama, it's unbelievable. I can't wait for next week.
Neither can I.
Country ladle, made like Mama's. From Campbell's, it's all good.
Welcome to the cage. 8 teams, semi-final. First goal wins.
That's cheap.
You've been paying too much, haven't you?
Accelerate in for a 5-speed bench drill, just $75. Not one, not two, but 67 tools, just $89. And pack it away in a giant storage box, just $29.
So I said to him, Norman, have you got any idea what he did to me? I couldn't... And I said, you'll never believe what happened.
The AFL Premiership Season 2002, brought to you by its premier partner Carlton and United Breweries and our telecast sponsors Carlton Draft, official beer of the AFL. Strathfield, the right choice for mobiles. Call 13 11 77. Ford dealers, ordinary people doing extraordinary deals. Nintendo GameCube, get into it. The TAC, wipe off 5 or wipe out lives. And just say the word, yes, Optus.
Well, there's the cauldron that Kathy Freeman famously lit on that magic night 2 years ago for the Sydney Olympics. That shot, of course, taken earlier tonight. It's halftime here at Stadium Australia, and we're joined by one of Australia's most famous sportswomen, and Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley. Welcome, Yvonne. It's a fantastic night.
Oh, thank you. It's a great thrill to be here. I don't really follow AFL much, but oh, what a great atmosphere out here, and I'm really enjoying it, learning the rules, and it's something that I used to watch when I lived in the Riverina. Every Sunday we used to go and watch the AFL games. Burrellan playing all these other country towns, so it brings back a lot of memories for me, and it's a wonderful occasion, of course, to be here as part of not just reconciliation, but NAIDOC Week, which is National Aboriginal Day, which is celebrated for a whole week. So great celebrations, and it's great to be here, and an honour to present the Martin Group Trophy, which is a form of football that Aboriginals used to play before the early settlers came. So
we can see on screen there the sea of hands, which is outside the ground as part of the celebrations, and as you mentioned, just great celebrations, and we also saw some other famous Aboriginal sports people who did a lap with you this evening before the match started.
Oh yes, it's just wonderful to see such a wonderful display out there with the sea of hands, and it's a day that we can all sort of celebrate together. You know, it doesn't matter who you are. We all love to play sports, and as you may know, we have a lot of great sort of Aboriginal AFL players going way back, thousands of years ago. So it's great to be here to sort of celebrate that. And it's exciting. You mentioned earlier you're going to be presenting the trophy at the end of the match. That's right. It's certainly a wonderful honour for me to be presenting the trophy to the winner. I don't know who's going to win, but it looks pretty exciting so far, so anything can happen at the moment, it seems. And what about on the tennis front? French Open coming up. Any positive hopes for Australia there? Yes, we have some players over there that really, you know, has a good chance of getting through on clay. I think they'll do better on the sort of faster surface, though. I'm sure they'll be looking forward to playing on grass, which Australians are very much used to doing that. But, you know, we have Leighton Hewitt, of course, who has a chance, really, of doing well on playing on clay and playing in the French. So, you know, there may be some good wins out there. And are you still having a hit yourself? I'm actually working with Tennis Australia's Getting Started program, and that targets young girls who've never played before all over Australia. So I'm doing that. Also the Goolagong Cup, which is like a junior Fed Cup for country girls all over Australia. And Fed Cup captain. So I've got a lot of work to do, but I'm enjoying every minute of it. So.
Well, it's great that you could join us here tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley. So a terrific night here at Stadium Australia and a big morning coming up for Essendon fans. Tomorrow morning, they've got a big day on at Windy Hill, and you can see all the details there on your screen for the Bombers. And that's, in fact, of course, in Sydney. So Essendon fans can get out there tomorrow with the players and officials and coaches in attendance. We'll take a break and come back with the second half here from Stadium Australia.
So hard finding inspiration. I knew you'd find me crying.
If you could change the world we live in, how would you begin? Freedom and liberty, and put an end to suffering. Just imagine what you hope for could come true. Just imagine a brighter day to look forward to.
Gee, that's good value.
You've been paying too much for too long. Who ever heard of an AM/FM radio cassette player for just $69? Orange of Allure dash mats are just $29.99 and 5 litres of Castrol GTX just $9.99.
Want some action? The 2 hottest movies of the year are landing soon on the big screen.
Spider-Man, come out to play.
Spider-Man.
Next.
And Men in Black 2. Be the first to get tickets to both movies with the Planet Saver Pass. You get a ticket to see Spider-Man, a ticket to see Men in Black 2, plus your own copy of the original Men in Black video. All for an out-of-this-world $30.
Wow.
Don't miss out. Swing into action and grab it while you can. The Planet Saver Pass. Available at participating cinemas.
It's a fact. Dogs love beanbags. They're so comfy, and better insulation from the ground would be hard to find. Which is why we designed a beanbag bed especially for dogs. There are different sizes and materials and lots of colours and patterns to choose from. We call our bed for dogs the Underdog, because on an underdog, every dog's a top dog.
Training went well?
Still got a long way to go. I think I'm getting a cold.
You can't afford to. It's a big one this Saturday. Here, try this.
Taken at first signs, Lemsip Cold and Flu Defense helps boost the immune system and reduce the severity of symptoms.
How you feeling?
Good. Let's hope our defence is as good as this. Okay, go, boys. That's it. Come on.
Searching for something for the home? Simply head into Bunnings Warehouse for the lowest prices every day. Like Bostik 270-gram clear seal cylinder, $5.48. HPM wireless door chime, $27.39. 4-litre British in-colour paints interior acrylic, $45. 28-litre storage box with lift-out tray, $11.98. Gutter guard 8-metre roll, $2.29. And if you happen to find a cheaper price on a stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%.
Bunnings Warehouse!
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
That's cheap. You've been paying too much, haven't you? Accelerate in for a 5-speed bench drill, just $75. Not 1, not 2, but 67 tools, just $89. And pack it away in a giant storage box, just $29.
Not far away from the start of the third quarter here at Stadium Australia, with the Bombers at half-time leading the Swans by 13 points. It's turned out to be a pretty reasonable night in Sydney. Threatened rain for most of the afternoon, but it's a nice night as the Swans prepare to come out. Let's check the Cybercoach question, which we presented to you before the game. Should Tony Lockett have played tonight? Ring the SMS number 0421 261 011. That's 0421 261 011. Vote A for yes or B for no. The question, should Tony Lockett have played tonight? Let's go down to the boundary line here at Stadium Australia. Jared Waitley.
Quarters from the Bombers' rooms. It looks like David Hill will start the second half. Of course, the Bombers had to start the game with 17 players, with Hill in the room having injured a shoulder during the warm-up. The club's certainly not happy with that. Kevin Sheedy spent some time with the interchange steward trying to ensure that he could start with 18 on the ground. As it turned out, Stephen Alessio had to come screaming down to the forward line once the ball was bounced. So certainly an issue the Bombers will take further. In other news, Andrew Welsh has a knock to his right knee. He sat out the entire second quarter and looks like he'll do the same at the start of the third. The Bombers, I just think they need to use the footy a bit smarter and try to pour the pressure on the Swans and wait for them to crack. For news from the Sydney rooms, Neil Cordy.
Yes, thanks, Joe. Just one injury concern, and that's Barry Hall, but that seems to be managing okay. He's moving quite well. That was the treatment he received at the end of quarter time, and he's played out the second quarter, and they don't think there'll be any further problems with Barry Hall. He seems to be running pretty freely. He's just getting his boots dusted off right now, and I think he'll be without any problems to play out the game. Just one other thing, speaking with Rodney Eade before the game, he feels like he's been double-crossed a little bit by the weather, just going for one tall, and they are really battling to handle Salmon and Alessio. Mott's going to be taking the ruck work, but that's probably one of their more serious concerns with the big men. Back to you, Quarters.
Thanks to Neil Cordy and also to Gerard Waitley as we check the halftime score at Colonial Stadium tonight. And it's still Richmond in front, 5-2-32 to 2-5-17. So pretty tight tussle there at Colonial Stadium.
And David Hill setting himself to do the ruck work for the Bombers. Paul Salmon has gone to the interchange bench, and Steve Alessio's gone down towards the goal square with Rioli and Mark McCurry.
Past Paul Salmon's bedtime, isn't it? Oh, I'd take that back, Fish. He knows I'm only joking. As we start this third quarter, the Bombers lead by 13 points. And as we so often see and so often say, secondary bounce in the middle.
And Lachlan has Ramanascus on him again, Malcolm. There's certainly a size difference there.
Slap forward for the Swans by Nix. Running back with the flight of the ball as Peverley's run down, but did well to get the handball away to McVeigh. Back into the middle, marked by Mott. Slung after he to Mark too. Looking to give away 50 there, Carosella. Mott dishes to Schwass. Oh, Lachlan, that was magical. Can he go on and kick a goal? He touches the turf. Michael O'Loughlin couldn't make the distance into the goal square. Nix. Jacobs, it's still in play. We'll have a ball up.
What a wonderful bit of play, Malcolm. He just knew what he was doing, didn't he? Just edged his opponent, Ramanascus, out of the way, trapped it with one hand.
It was. The only thing is, I was really looking forward to seeing Ramanascus play a game in the middle as an on-baller, and all of a sudden he finds himself in the back line.
Oh, the umpire crunched by both players. I wonder what's going to happen from that. Meantime, we're going to get another throw in, I suspect.
Oh, the umpire's got up beautifully too.
He's recovered well. Let's have a look at it. Ooh. We only saw just the end bit there, but it looked like there was hands in his back.
Free kick to the ump.
Yeah. Nix! He sees the moment and kicks the goal. Well done, Matthew Nix.
It's easy to forget a car's most important feature, safety. Before you buy, compare safety ratings at howsafeisyourcar.com.au and see how your next car stacks up.
So the margin back to 7 points in favour of the Bombers. The Swans have a sniff. But Essendon have been in front all night. Soccer off the ground. Rioli will get there first. Classy pickup and shorts it to Barnard. Paul Barnard with the footy. Has kicked just the one behind tonight. Too far out to score.
Just trying to exploit this height difference. O'Loughlin's moved back to full forward. Barry Hall's gone out to centre half forward.
Barnard. Alessio is the target. He got in front. Shawble managed to spoil. Rioli again at ground level. Great skills. He's looking for Heffernan, and that is a great kick from Rioli. And Heffernan also took a courageous mark, and he will line up pretty much from point-blank range, and this will be the quick reply from the Bombers.
Just smart play by Rioli, and again, he just had the composure. He knew his teammate would be in that dangerous spot, the hot spot, and Heffernan able to take that overhead mark. Good play by the Bombers.
Heffernan kicks his second for the evening. The Bombers lead again by 13.
We are family.
Families are loving.
Who are you people? You look.
They're caring.
Can't you ever just be quiet?
And sharing.
108 degrees of fun.
Yeah, how about 6 degrees of separation?
2 wholesome families for 1 wholesome hour. The Simpsons, followed by Everybody Loves Raymond from 6:30 Sunday on 10.
James Hird in the coaching box there with Robert Shaw.
I wonder how long it'll be before he's back on the field. Probably another 3 or so weeks, maybe 1 or 2 more. Out of the middle, Hill over the top of it, and we're going to have yet another secondary bounce. And it'll be interesting to watch here, as you mentioned a couple of times, Robert, in that second quarter. Every time there's a secondary ball up around the ground, Swans are getting the third man in, aren't they, to try and punch it over the top.
Bennett certainly did that. Hang on, free kick, and umpire Brett Allen has seen something 100 metres off the play. It'll go to Sydney. And it was against Scotty Lucas, I think.
Tough for O'Loughlin to lead into that. Jacobs getting back nicely.
Either Lucas or Alessio back there that infringed.
Distributes is out wide again. Alessio the target, and he's jumping beautifully now. This is the best form he's been in for a while. He was terrific in this corresponding match last year when it was played at Colonial Stadium. Of course, he kicked 4 goals and was the hero after the siren. Mark Johnson, it's all ahead of him here. Had plenty of time to size it all up and almost finished it, not quite. Now behind, and the Bombers 8-7 now, extending their lead to 14.
Anthony, I haven't seen anyone kick the ball 50 metres tonight. Particularly the way Essendon are going now. Nearly every kick is dropping short, and Shawball's actually been caught out a few times with that ball just holding up.
William Short.
Anthony, you were down there at half-time again. Did you notice anything with the breeze there at all?
I didn't really notice any significant breeze.
Creswell went short to Fosdyke, who gave it back to Creswell onto the left. Beautiful kick into the middle.
And Shawball free.
Mott to Seymour to Shawball. Now he's got a player loose on the 50. Oh, the kick was terrible, but just took too much time.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't a good kick, but by G, Hill was great, Malcolm. He really did cover some ground for a ruckman to get back there and give the defensive spoil out of bounds.
Throw in, 48 metres out from the Swans' goal. Heffernan did it nicely. Blumfield being harassed by Creswell. We have a throw in. Six and a half gone in this third quarter. It's the Bombers by 14 points over the Swans. First ever game played at Stadium Australia. Maxfield. Oh, gee, getting crunched was Creswell. Or was it Matthews? I think it was Matthews. Maxfield was clean bowled. He's fixed up. Did well to get it back to Maxfield. So Stuart Maxfield, the acting captain tonight, long to O'Loughlin. It's 3-on-1 here. It's all Bombers. In fact, 4 get back there. And they'll switch play as Peveril finds his teammate in Blumfield.
Matthews up on his feet, brushing aside the team physiotherapist. Gee, a dangerous kick.
Oh, very dangerous. Robert Heffernan kept his head and goes very wide. Young Reynolds can take the mark. His recovery was pretty good. And at least he didn't give the ball up. It's over the line again.
Where's Heffernan's last 5 or 6 minutes? He's got it on a string.
Gee, their premiership news, just a wonderful player. Thought he dropped off a little bit last year, mainly due to injury, but Heffernan, I think he's a future captain of Essendon.
Crouch. 8-7 playing 5-11. So in this quarter, Essendon have kicked 1-1. Sydney have kicked 1 straight. Similar tale to the second term where the Bombers outscored the Swans by just 1 point.
Lighting looks good. No one's put their hands up to shield themselves to look at a ball yet, so that must be okay, the lighting.
Yeah. There's another whistle. It's just a mammoth stand, isn't it, on that outer side? It's a huge stand, and even though the stadium not full, it's a big crowd up around the 50,000 mark. Creswell's made a pretty good recovery. He's kicked reasonably well weighted. Tough for Seymour in the end. Free kick, though. Swass sprinkling with it quickly, getting it in. O'Loughlin the target. He didn't really go. Good spoil from Fletcher, but it does give Paul Williams a chance. He spent much of the night in defence. He went to ground. And some heavy work off the ball as the clearing kick from Alessio out on the full.
So Rowan Wharf's got it.
Pretty crowded forward line in front of him.
Yep, told to play on. Alessio's camping underneath it. Fletcher, great reflexes. Quickly puts boot to ball. There's Shawbull. Little soccer off the ground by Mott. They're playing soccer at the moment. Nix. Now McVeigh grabs it. Did it very nicely under a lot of pressure.
Gee, plenty of space in front here.
Blumfield. There's no one inside Essendon's 50. Now Rioli gets there, but he's got 3 to beat. Did well to get boot to ball. It's bouncing. It's bouncing. It won't get there. It'll be rushed through, but it wasn't a bad effort from Dean Rioli. You had to beat 3. Even the goal umpire had a smirk on his face then.
Just terrific pre-game, Malcolm, to see former players like Sid Jackson, Michael Long, Michael McLean, Barry Cable.
Yeah, just great.
Just terrific, and they'd certainly be willing Michael O'Loughlin, Dean Rioli on tonight. Who were some of the Aboriginal boys that you played with?
Well, obviously with Barry Cable, of course, and against all those others you mentioned.
Mott providing a good target, even though he didn't take the mark. Unfortunately for the Swans, Shawbull's kick out on the full. There's been a lot of that on the full, hasn't there, tonight, as you predicted, actually?
Well, it's 18 metres narrower than the MCG. It's just about the same in goal to goal, only 1 metre difference, but decidedly narrower this ground.
Same width as Kardinia Park.
Good lead from Lucas.
And just looking at those leads, the 2 Aboriginal boys I did play with was Phil and Jim Cracker, of course. They were just fantastic deliverers of the ball. Thanks, boys. Gave me a few goals.
What about Robbie Muir? Did he ever pick you up?
No, I actually coached Robbie in Adelaide when he played at Woodville for a while.
8-8 playing 5-11. Right. Trust to your quarters. Here's Lucas from 40. It's close, and they like it behind the goals. It's an important kick for the Bombers, and it's there.
We've got all sorts of contracts. Air conditioning, industrial ovens, hospitals.
I found all sorts of information about apprenticeships and the types of training you can get at my local new apprenticeship centre.
Well, there's this one guy I talked to down at the new apprenticeship centre, and he spelled out the financial benefits that I'd be entitled to. It was a pleasant surprise.
Well, Doug expects a very high standard of work. That's good for me because it'll make me a better tradesman.
I caught him signing his name on a job that he did last week. I like that.
You'd be amazed where new apprenticeships can take you these days. Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
Bombers by 21 points as Matthews puts Sydney into attack. Hall coming through like a steam train. Mark Johnson, he won't take a backward step. And we have a ball up 50 metres out from Sydney's goal.
Just going back to that goal again, but it was a cheap lead, wasn't it? Right? I mean, I reckon they're almost stoppable. You know, if you're just really aggressive. And it was just an easy kick and chip and lovely kick and finish from Lucas.
Kirk on for Matthews. For Sydney. Maxfield. Shovel it out. Now Nix. To Creswell. Quick kick into the pocket. It's O'Loughlin against Ramanascus. Fletcher comes in and lends support. Does it superbly. Oh, how's that for play from Dustin Fletcher as he finds Pepper on defensive 50. He's got Wellman short. And he goes to him now.
Wellman looking down the field. He sees Rioli straight on. Nothing really going for him, so he goes for Pepperell. Swing to the outer side. There's Reynolds. More directly is Lucas pushing up to about the 50. Now Pepperell going out very wide. Again, Mark Johnson. Wanted to bring it inboard. He's under pressure. Well tackled. Too high. Not holding the ball. I thought the umpire had his arm on his shoulder there.
Didn't he? Surely as he was tackled. It was a great chase by O'Loughlin. He really didn't give up on it. And I think the umpire was quick to say that Mark Johnson had plenty of time to get rid of it.
Great kick. He almost made the lead himself by where he kicked the ball.
And that's something that the Swans haven't done well this evening, and that is pass to players inside the forward 50. Essendon have done it terrifically well. And we just have a look at Lachlan now. That's about a 55-metre pass from one half-forward flank wing position to the other.
Well, how's this for a crucial kick for the Swans now?
Well, he's going to kick right on 50, isn't he? And as I said, I haven't seen too many do it tonight.
He's kicked one so far. Matthew Nicks, he's certainly a goal kicker. We know that for the Swans. Kicked 10 goals in 7 matches this year going into tonight.
Second leading goal kicker.
Kicked 6 in the game last year. Kicked 6 goals, 7 in fact. But can he get the distance? It doesn't look like it from that kick. And there's no Sydney player there. That's unforgivable.
Yeah, and that's been standing out for the last 15 seconds. David Hill back on the goal line by himself. Finally, Mott realised he better get back there to maybe shepherd it through, but too late.
I just wonder if the boys spoke, you know, both teams at half-time, said, yeah, we're not kicking the ball as long as perhaps some other nights. A bit of a moisture in the air. Oh, great mark.
It was a great mark by Joel Reynolds. It's the Bombers by 20 points. 14.5 minutes gone, third quarter. Desperate defence. Williams, and he's pinged it. Well, Williams was about 25 metres from the boundary line. He had nowhere to go. And the umpire, Matthew James, decided it's a free kick.
He was direct, wasn't he? If he just went down the line a bit more, maybe.
Wharf takes the mark for Sydney. And he'll transfer play. Maxfield. Target is Saddington. And we'll have a throw-in smack bang on centre wing. 20 points in favour of the Bombers. 15.5 minutes gone, third quarter.
Well, it's a real struggle in this third quarter for both teams. Since quarter time, it's been 3 goals 7 to the Bombers, 2 goals 5 to the Swans. And the Swans desperately need to get the next goal, and they've got a chance now. Hall has broke for Creswell. Means he's a long way from home. He took the last step or two pretty easily, didn't he?
He did, didn't he? And I think Fletcher's hurt himself.
So Hall, O'Loughlin in the goal square, going very short. Again, Kirk, you would think too far out the score from what we've seen so far tonight.
O'Loughlin back in the goal square on Ramanauskas. Now he's made his break.
And that's what the Swans are hoping for, and he gets it. So well worked.
Yeah. I reckon Rodney Eade spoken to them, Malcolm, at half-time and said we've got to use each other in that forward 50 far more than what we did in the first half.
And a great piece of play off here as we watch Fletcher here. Just this getting tangled up with the leg. It's just a kick on the calf by the look of it there. Yeah. Nick's actually tried to stop Ramanauskas on O'Loughlin's lead, just in the goal square. Just nice bit of teamwork.
Yep.
Just a half a metre, just enough.
And Michael O'Loughlin's night, 12 possessions, 4 marks, and 2 behinds. And now he's made that look a little better. He's kicked an important goal for the Swans.
Hi, I've got a seat here saved for you. No, I want you to sit down. Honestly, I insist.
You'd be popular too if you were offering tax-free cars and trucks. Like Falcon, tax-free. Courier, tax-free. Blazer LXI, tax-free. But only till June 30, and only from your Ford dealer.
14 points, the Bombers lead. They've had all the answers so far. As Nicks kicks a high ball. Underneath it was Kirk. Little soccer off the ground. It wasn't a little soccer, it was a big soccer by Fosdyke to the 50 for Sydney. Jacobs caught one high from Hall. Fletcher. Slapped forward by Kirk. Now Wellman. To Fletcher. Trying to play a bit of volleyball to Jacobs. Came off in the end. Peveril.
It's a hot footy.
It is. As Jason Johnson around the body, Rioli pushed out his opponent, got away with it.
He's playing a good game, Rioli.
Rioli into the middle, looking for McVeigh. Great one-hander.
Dean Rioli has to be in this Essendon side. He's such a creative player. A lot of people criticised his fitness or lack of it. But as each week goes by, he's just gearing up for a finals campaign.
Carosella, the sliding mark. And he looks for Mercury. Oh, spins out of trouble. Now where's he going to go? Backwards to Lucas from a standing start. Tip of the goal square. Barnard attacks it. Blumfield. Game tackled by 3 Swans. Will have a ball up. Great footy. Good, hard, tough, fair football. And 15 metres out for the Bombers' goal.
Just see Barnard's caught behind in the goal square when this kick goes in. He makes a terrific effort, Barnard, to get a fist on the footy to bring it to ground.
Oh, again, Alessio taking it cleanly out of the ruck. Mott going for safety. Will it carry to the line? Wellman tracking it. Heffernan. And again, it's over and out. 9-8-62 Essendon. 6-12-48 Sydney.
And let's have a look at this here. Jared Crouch, number 28 for Sydney. He's been on Jason Johnson for the entire game. Johnson only had 2 kicks.
Play restarting Wellman. A lot of space around him. Allowed him to set it up for Mercury. Oh, that's well judged at the back from Paul Williams. Outmarking him. So he's stuck with that matchup, Rodney Eade. And now look at Seymour. He's got just open space ahead of him. Eventually, a target provided for him, but he lets himself down with the kick. Mark Johnson taking the mark. Not much on for him at this stage. Totally devoid of options.
Lucas is pushed to a position where he can contest.
Oh, look at that. Easy. Uncontested mark. Amazing on 50 for Mercury. Carosella breaks as he does so well. And again, is that a free kick? No, it's not. Blumfield kept it up, gave McVeigh a chance. Into the square. Lucas pushing back. Worth. And again.
Plenty of Essendon supporters at that end of the ground.
Once again, the ball just didn't quite go right, did it?
No, there's something about the atmosphere up here.
Well, I guess I mean, there's 2 big stands on either side of the ground, but it's just open straight down the middle of the ground, so maybe that affects the way the winds come in or something. I don't know. Trying to come up with something.
That's the worst explanation I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's a bit more than
you had a crack.
Well, Malcolm said there was a waft before the game. I think it's a bit more than a waft.
It's a free kick on centre wing to the Bombers. It was out on the full.
Plenty of those.
Thanks for your support, guys. Terrific.
Short pass. Finds Barnard.
About 7 or 8 Essendon players have led. He goes long.
Getting in front is Wharf, and that's a mark. So it's a 15-point ball game. Essendon lead the Swans. They've led all night. We've gone 21.5 minutes in the 3rd quarter. Mott takes the mark. That's at a critical point this game, you think, at the moment, as he goes short. It's a good chase by Heffernan. Almost forced the turnover. Clever little toe poke by Salmon. But now Kurt for Sydney. Around the body. And it's marked by Carosella. To Peverill, he's run down. Here's a chance for Big Barry. Can he get a clear kick? He breaks 1 tackle. He breaks 2. He dishes off to Nix. Goal for Sydney!
What a great goal. What a terrific goal by Nix and Barry Hall combining there.
Barry Hall, he's kicked 2 goals too, and he's given the Swans a chance in this game. 9-9 to 7-12. Jason Johnson is the best at getting out of the middle for the Bombers. Couldn't do it that time. It's been tough in there all night. Hard to get it clear. Wellman's effort run down. Great work by Heffernan. Breaks it clear. Gets it in there quickly. Salmon, can he get to the front? Alessio, in fact, it was. Fixed it. He had the sweep on, and it was Crouch. On the way out, McPherson over the top. Nothing doing for him yet. Swan's starting to run with in a bit more positive fashion.
Just been on the ground, McPherson spent the first half on the bench.
9-9 playing 7-12. Bennett at the back, gets his chance now, has to go. Jacobs rides him, and the ball over the line.
Malcolm, critical stage, I think, of the game. If Sydney get the next goal, they're within 3 points, and I reckon this crowd could erupt.
It is always noisy at the SCG, isn't it? And just, you've got that feeling here that's going to be the same. Although it's open at either end, it's got that cauldron effect like the SCG. You explain that one, Anthony.
9-9 playing 7-12. I was letting you just go as long as you wanted. Crouch getting it in quickly, tough here. Well, Fletcher in the end, it wasn't tough for him.
Play untouched, and he's out of bounds. He's walked out of bounds, so that has to be a throw-in.
Yeah, it has to be a throw-in.
Fletcher didn't realise that the umpire had called touch.
No, none of the other players realised.
So
now they're just starting to work it out.
And he walked out of bounds with the ball, so it should be thrown in.
The boundary umpire had actually run away. What was he doing?
The boundary umpire's just done the slowest 200 metres you've ever seen.
So why is he bouncing it?
Yeah, why is he bouncing?
Why is he bouncing?
Maybe it's just confused. Done well.
Yeah. Just confused everybody. Great.
Yeah. Explain that one, Malcolm. The ball about 30 out now. It's not Fletcher, as always, getting it out of the 50. He's the best in the league at it, but Creswell, we know what he's good at, kicking crucial goals late in games.
O'Loughlin.
Good lead, well chopped off, beautifully read by McVeigh.
Yeah, it was well chopped off. He put the squeeze on the space. They're certainly looking to go to O'Loughlin.
McVeigh in the back pocket. He's looking for Johnson. Now Ramanauskas gains a valuable 40 or 50 metres, and we have a throw in. So it's the Bombers 63, the Swans 54. It's 9 points of difference, and we've been going just over 25 minutes in the third quarter.
Saw Wayne Swaston on screen. 14 possessions for Swas, 9 kicks and 5 handballs.
Well, they're saving him, and Maxfield is also off for a break for Sydney, so the two veterans will have a break probably, you'd think, to almost the last quarter now. Williams looking for Kirk. He gets crunched by Wellman. Umpire said play on. Now Seymour was all in the back of Peverill, no doubt about that free kick.
Why wouldn't Williams, with breaking clear like that, actually look down the middle? I mean, it was a 50-50 contest out wide. It was just a decision that... clumsy.
Peverill looks for Alessio. Front and centre was Wharf. To Williams, to Saddington. To Shawble. Campbell ends up with Seymour. Can he use the ball? He goes short to Goods. Still in play. Now it's over for a throw-in. As a bit of a wrestle breaks out. Nothing much in that.
Just throw it in.
Exactly. Good call.
Too slow.
Yeah.
Salmon against Mott. Salmon used all his strength and experience there. Kicks a kick we would have seen here on Wednesday night, a real up and under. As we have a ball up.
And that was a big play. You talk about Ruckman not having influence on the game, but there was actually no contest then from the young fellow. He's actually played a bit better this quarter, but that's just got 30 metres away from Sydney's goal.
Now, I reckon Riola's been reported here for an incident with Williams.
I think Williams actually got hurt in that.
Off the ball, in the pack situation. Let's have a look here.
No, just gave him the don't argue, but that's after Williams is holding his eye.
Well, he's gone up to, in fact, he's gone up to Fixter, so I hope he didn't report him for the don't argue. I think he's reported him for that.
He has, yeah, and he's at 50. The umpire is running back to the square. It is 50. Well, what an important decision in a low-scoring match.
That's a very expensive don't argue.
And just to keep an eye on Williams here. And something underhand, under the pack, it seems. Yes. That's a worry.
So Williams to try and capitalise on it and really make it hurt for the Bombers. Good-looking kick. It's a goal. They're right in it now. It's a close one.
Well, when I started, I definitely did not have a green thumb. I was a classic indoor plant killer. It was pathetic.
We'd never taken on a new apprentice before. Now I don't know what we'd do without Lisa. Don't tell her that, though.
I get training in everything, from recognising different plant varieties to dealing with customers. At the same time, I get hands-on experience.
Very well organised. No annoying red tape.
One day, I'd like to own my own nursery.
Oh, I'll probably end up working for her one day.
You'd be amazed where new apprenticeships can take you these days. Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
So 9-9-63 Essendon. Sydney 9-12-60. Paul Williams leaving the field to get some treatment. The crowd starting to make some noise. The Swans trail by 12 points at quarter time. The Bombers got away to it. Very quick start, only 43 seconds. They could be an important 43 seconds if either team can score. Fast break out of the middle for the Bombers. Mercury run down. Blumfield was backing out. Swans going in hard. Jason Johnson going in harder. Created the opportunity. It was terrific play. Good hard work by Bennett and the Sydney defence, and they wrapped it up.
It was, gee, it's on again, and it's a free kick to Sydney. Mercury gave away the free. They're losing their cool. Rioli has just put Maxfield down. Rioli should be taken off the field.
It might be another 50. Mark Mercury's not careful.
He's just ready to explode, Dean Rioli. I've never seen him like this. Swans, he should come off.
Swans have to be careful. They don't do something silly here, don't they, I guess?
Yeah.
How far will this go? How far will it go? Will it be 50 or 100?
And again, let's have a look at it. Maxfield stirs him up. And he axed Maxfield in the end.
Kick to half forward. Fixed up. Top run down. And it's a free kick to Johnson. So Rioli is coming off. He's being dragged. Keep it on play. Fletcher's handle. They're under the pump. But tell you what, the Bombers, they have just lost the plot the last couple of minutes. The Swans have sucked them in. And we have a ball game here at Stadium Australia. It's 3 points of difference. And Dean Rioli reported. We're pretty sure it was actually for an incident with Fixter, but he was also involved in an incident with Paul Williams, which did not look good for him on replay.
Still plenty of nickel out there as the players go to their huddles. And that's umpire Brett Allen.
And look, you can see Brett Allison and the Swans coaching staff. They're really getting out there and trying to get their team pumped.
Brett Allen's the best umpire to have out there at the moment. Well, he's the senior one. And here again is the incident where Williams gets the free kick. And we believe the report.
Well, I'd like to say that he's been reported for that because the free kick was given prior to the other one, Fixter's one.
So we have a ball game at three-quarter time, plenty of action. And it's Essendon now by just 3 points. It's 9-9-63 to the Swans, fighting back 8-12-60. The first ever game at Stadium Australia. And it's going to be a ripping last quarter. The Bombers by 3 points.
Meet Truman.
Good morning.
He's your regular boy next door.
In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Only what Truman doesn't know is his life is not his own.
Is he looking at us? You think he knows?
Cue the sign. The one thing that could put a stop to the greatest show ever is if Truman figures it out.
Get out of here. He's gone.
Is that the best you can do? Jim Carrey in a unique movie experience from the groundbreaking Australian director. The Truman Show, 8:30 Sunday.
Every cigarette is doing you damage. Smoking creates blood clots, which can cause strokes. Some strokes kill, blind, or paralyze. Others you don't even know you're having. This is the result of a minor stroke in a smoker, aged 38. Every cigarette is doing you damage.
Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
Don't be discouraged, though I realize it's hard
Hey! What's going on here? You're back? Yeah. Vladivostok was fine, thanks for asking. So what is going on here? Since when did Tim Tams come in fingers?
Arnott's Tim Tam, now in fingers.
Hello? Look, I want to quit smoking.
Sure, well, you've taken the first step. That's great.
Planning ahead is really important.
And I could send you a quick book if you'd like.
Make World No Tobacco Day, May 31st, your day to quit.
Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
By Caracella. To Pembrell, he's run down. Here's a chance for Big Barry. Can he get a clear kick? He breaks one tackle. He breaks two. He dishes up to Nicks. Goal to Sydney! Three-quarter time. The Bombers lead by just 3 points against the Swans, 9-9 to 8-12. Hall, Williams, Nicks, 2 apiece for Sydney. For Essendon, Lucas, Heffernan and Alessio all have 2 goals each. You can see Rodney Eade, a man under huge pressure this week, has his team calling the shots.
But why would he be? I mean, on what you've seen tonight, I mean, they're absolutely having a dip, aren't they?
Yep.
So, you know, I mean,
it's not as if they've only won the one game for the year. They've won 3. They've had a draw. Sure, they haven't played as well as they would have liked, but they're still in the hunt.
Let's have a look at an interesting stat, guys. Essendon, the last 10 games have lost the last 10 final quarters, and they've gone on to be defeated in 5 of those matches.
May I also say that Kevin Schutte has been renowned for spelling some, you know, older players and unfit players. So.
Let's go down to Jared Waitley.
Quarters, Kevin Schutte very animated when he hit his huddle pretty hard. He brought them together before they went off into their separate groups of back midfielders and forwards and really laid down the law. Nobody spoke to Dean Rioli during that huddle until just as they were walking off the ground and Kevin Schutte took Rioli aside. Rioli is on the bench and had a pretty long conversation. Neil Corder, you watched the Swans. It was interesting, just as that huddle formed, one of the assistant coaches, Brett Ellison, had a long conversation with one of the field umpires.
Yes, very interesting because there was a close examination of Paul Williams' eye just in the last couple of minutes of that quarter. He went off the ground. But the Swans really like their chances now. They've gone just with the one tall. There's Williams now, and they've examined his eye. He is okay, but there seems to be a couple of scratches on his face.
Good move, Malcolm, I think, to get Dean Rioli off because he just lost the plot for the last 5 minutes of that third quarter.
So we start this final term at Stadium Australia. It's the Bombers by 3 points. They've led all night. Take 2 in the middle.
Just going back to that last quarters ago where I said unfit players, I mean, guys not quite ready or he can spell on for next week. I mean, he's been a master at that over a number of years. So it doesn't, that's not a surprising stat in some ways.
Just
in some ways.
8 possessions for Jason Johnson tonight, Malcolm. Crouch has done a great job as the Bombers go into attack. And the mark's taken by Seymour for Sydney.
Seymour coming into the side when Dunkley pulled out on Thursday.
Seymour, his target is Fixter. Over the top came Jacobs, and we have a throw in. In the ruck, it's going to be Salmon.
At the other end of the ground, Sean Wellman's got the job on Michael O'Loughlin. That's a good move because O'Loughlin was too big for Ramanascus in that third term.
Against Mott. There's Johnson on hands and knees. Fixter. And we have a ball up. 45 out from the Bombers' goal. They lead by 3 points.
It's been a pretty tight start, hasn't it? You know, sometimes you get that breakaway and someone gets momentum, but the game has been like this since the first quarter.
So, Salmon again having an influence at the ruck contest. There they are, Crouch and Jason Johnson, and the umpire again deciding to bounce. Pepperell hasn't played his normal role, has he, tonight? He's played more as a forward, I guess.
Yeah, he has, and hasn't been on the ground for a great length of time, but just easing him back in.
Amazing that he's out there, considering he broke his arm less than a month ago. Salmon, Shawball. Oh, he didn't know what to do, and in the end, out of bounds on the full. We've seen a lot of them tonight. Barnard, they start to lead for him. He might almost be within range here. We know it hasn't been carrying, but that one does. Straight over the goal umpire. Great goal.
Well, if you ever play the motor whiz, try to take my way. That's a highway, that's a best. Or get your kicks on Road 66. Well, get your kicks on Road 66.
Big goal from Paul Barnard. Gives the Bombers some breathing space. 9 points. Centre square infringement. I think it's going Essendon's way.
Oh, yuck. Don't you just love them, Robert?
Coaches hate it, don't they? Just kills you.
Alessio back inside. 50, Mercury. Almost. Carosella puts it into space. Saddington gets there first. Matthews to Creswell. Towards Bolton. He's tackled beautifully. Kick off the ground by Seymour. Now Big Mott. It's another 10 metres. Then we have a throw in. There's a look at Paul Williams' eye.
Well, he's off with the blood rule, and that doesn't look good.
Throw in. He's back on now, of course. Crouch. What a game he's had tonight. To the 50, looking for O'Loughlin. Running onto it is Nicks. Kicked a big goal in the third quarter. Got it over here to Fosdyke, and left foot snap. Barry Hall is furious. He found some space. And he said, what about me? As Fosdyke blazed away. And Essendon end up with a football. It's Jacobs who spots up Mark Johnson on defensive 50, and he is away.
Yeah, he's away and nothing coming at him. So he has time to try and use it well. Alessio propped up nicely, about 80 from goal. He turns around, he's got Salmon down in the square. He's going to get it in there quickly. No one on Salmon, amazing. He can take a chest mark 35 metres out from goal, and the old thumbs up.
Yes, and you saw that from a mile off, Hutto, as you called it. But what about the game of Steve Alessio? 19 disposals. He's had 14 kicks. And we just see Barry Hall going out to the pocket, and Fosdyke just rushed the kick. And it just went from one end of the ground to the other, because Fletcher was able to get it out wide, and it ended up relayed to Paul Salmon, who'll have this shot for goal.
So the big fish, of course, started as a full forward, and that's why he went into the ruck, maybe. No, they're behind. 10-10, 70 Essendon, Sydney 8-12, 60. 10 points the difference.
2 behinds to Paul Salmon this evening. Wayne Schwass. Bring it back in. There's Seymour off for a rest. Schwass trying to create something. It didn't come off though. Is it a free kick? It is.
Yeah. And Malcolm, you'll be happy. Your man's up on the wing.
Ramanauskas.
Yeah.
Adam Ramanauskas. Harvey in the pocket. Takes the mark.
What he's very good at, Robert, is that he's smart with his hands. He's deceptive in the air with his jump, and he's a beautiful kick.
Just got a terrific vertical jump.
Now this young kid, he's only played, Shane Harvey, 3 games. This is his 4th, and he's a very, very good kick for goal. And what happens when you give a guy a rest?
Gee, you put yourself against the odds there, though. He's on the boundary line.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's a very clever goal sneak. If anyone was going to thread it through, perhaps he was, but only a point to Shane Harvey.
Again, the quick break from the kick in. Swass. See, the Bombers have managed to clog it up pretty well, haven't they, when the Swans have tried to bring it out of defence?
Yeah, they have. They've had to switch it back and forth, and this is where they're getting in trouble.
Clever mark. It was a terrible kick. Mercuri, they're streaming forward, and he decides he won't lay it off. Lucas is still demanding it 15, 20 metres out from goal, but Mercuri must believe that he can cover the distance.
And the foot passing has let the Swans down all night. And that's from a senior player, Creswell.
Certainly a world record. I reckon that's the 5th one-handed mark we've seen tonight.
So Mark Mercuri for the Bombers. Such an experienced player. Possession number 15. It wasn't one of his best. Here's Harvey, just sneaks in. Play on. Here, you said he could kick a goal, Stephen. And you were wrong.
Gee, the Swans are having real trouble getting it out of their defence. Not a great kick by Mark Mercuri. Goes to the right. He's not happy with it, but Harvey quick enough to mark it and then drag it back in. Should have been a goal. They just need to get the ball out of their defensive zone, the Swans. Essendon zoning well.
Schwass's target is Mott. And he ended up with a footy in the end. Awkward kick by Mott to the wing. McVeigh backed himself. Mott to Matthews. Onto the left. Finds Nix, who decides he gets playing on with 2 Bombers standing in his way. Matthew Nix kicked 2 goals.
The Essendon filling the space for Barry Hall, but he's gone wide. And good play by Nix to hang on to the footy. Didn't go for the first one, he just waited until Barry Hall. Barry Hall would have made 3 or 4 leads before he finally cut to the boundary line.
Mainly because Steve Alessio's learned Paul Salmon's trick. It's a lovely finish. Alessio crouches down. The big blokes on the back play crouch down so they don't look as tall from ground level.
Barry Hall has kicked 2. This is a tough kick. And I'd say it's a behind, or is it play on and a goal? Now, what's happened here? Was it a mark, or was it through for a behind? Through for a behind. Essendon 10-12-72. The Swans 8-13-61, 11 points to margin. 9 minutes gone, final 2.
Last quarter, Essendon have kicked 1-3. Sydney have kicked 1 behind. 11 points the difference. Fletcher bombing for the middle, covering a lot of territory. Mott did well, got to the front, and he's created the chance for goods. Here's Hall. Can he get there? Yes! Oh, look at the aggression on Barry Hall. And he did not look at Wayne Swass, who was running to the goal square, looking for the short pass, but Barry said, I'm sick of this, I'm going to kick it myself.
Gee, he fixed up Wellman, didn't he, when he attacked the ball?
Oh, gee, he's a hard man on the lead. He wanted that ball. I reckon he's been terrific tonight, Barry Hall.
I think it's been a good battle, hasn't it, really?
Kick 2 goals, 2. That's probably the most important kick. It comes back, it's a goal. Again, we've got a ball game.
You've got one night to save Mario from the supernatural. Luigi's Mansion. Only for Nintendo GameCube.
Three goals to Barry Hall. It's a 5-point ball game in favour of the Bombers. Matthews, the centre break goes Sydney's way. Goods pushed his opponent out of the contest. McPherson, handball wasn't great to him. Now Mark Johnson. He's run down. Umpire says play on. O'Loughlin around the corner, looking for Hall. Oh, Fletcher, magnificent. There were 2 Swans there, and the Essendon chant has taken a very big mark. To the wing. O'Loughlin again. Sydney building into the full forward area. Bolton paddling against Heffernan. Heffernan won out. Another important win for the Bombers in defence, and they're away again through Alessio. Still Sydney. It's just rebound football at the moment. Kirk over the top. Once again, Hall from the half volley. Gives it out to Goods. Goods has got a player on. It's Nix. He can play on and kick a goal, will he? Nix has an important shot. And he's put it through. Swans are in front.
This job is such a great opportunity.
Well, it works both ways. A new apprenticeship benefits us and Peter.
It's better than squeezing casual work around full-time study. So with this, I'm getting great training and I'm being paid as well.
Tourism's a growth industry, and I think Peter has a real enthusiasm to make a career out of it. And he doesn't even mind the early start.
I hate the early breakfast shift.
You'd be amazed where new apprenticeships can take you these days. Authorised by the Commonwealth Government, Canberra.
So Rodney Eade, been in the news all week, suddenly finds himself staring at an important possible victory, but it's a long way to go in this last quarter. How will the Bombers respond? The Swans at the moment getting it out of the middle. That's where it's starting for them. Was that over the shoulder? No, terrific work by McVeigh. Gets it to the line. The Swans look desperate though, don't they, at the moment?
Oh, they're playing on real emotion at the moment. They're having a real crack at it. And Jared Crouch got that clearance, doing the job on Jason Johnson. Matthews, he's up on Caracella, and you've got Peveril on Swash, so it's one-on-one around the ball.
Bennett just on the ground, but Alessio taking it away from the middle. Again, Salmon, such a big target. Schauble right into the ground. Here's Reynolds. Just got a touch of class about him. Good smother, though. Gee, they're doing those things pretty well at the moment. Good shepherding, or was it? Was it too high? No, said the umpire. They get it in quickly. Here's Barnard. Run the arc beautifully, knew where the goals were all the time, and he's kicked it all the way. All he had to do was get a boot to it, and it's through. Blundfield kicks the goal, and the Bombers are back in front at Stadium Australia. Well played, Essendon. 5 points the difference again.
Smart kick by Blundfield. Had he taken that ball, had he taken possession, he probably would have stepped over the line. We'll have a look at it here. He realised he just had to let it get onto the boot. If he took the ball in possession, he probably gets tackled. Clever play.
It is the Bombers by 5 points. Mott got the knockdown. Peveril's locked up by Matthews. Another bounce down. 14 minutes have ticked over in the final term. Jared Bennett's being taken back to defence to Sydney. Maybe playing the loose man, I don't know. Here come the Bombers. Bennett underneath it. He's got it. It's a free kick to Essendon, is it? For a hole it is. Stephen Alessio has got the free kick. And he will line up directly in front, 50 metres out for his 3rd goal of the evening.
22 possessions to Steve Alessio. Best game I've seen him play.
So the man they call Big Cess. Oh, Schauble had the hand over the shoulder.
Yeah.
As they say, they just don't get any short of those big blokes at the end of the last quarter, do they?
And I think a shorter player worries, doesn't he, that the height's going to hurt him, so he just grapples.
Alessio. Good-looking kick. I think it's going to be a goal.
You'd be popular too if you were offering tax-free cars and trucks. Like Courier, tax-free, Transit, tax-free, and Econovan, tax-free. But only till June 30, and only from your Ford dealer.
Essendon forward line, they've got 7 players in their forward 50. No one up on the line for the bounce. They can get a fast break from this centre line. They can run clear through.
What a night for Steve Alessio. He's kicked 3 goals, but the Swans have a chance here. Matthews worried out of it. Johnson, was that a free kick? It was. No, it wasn't. Thought it was going to be paid. Maxfield. We know that Peveril doesn't let go easy. The umpire let it all go. So the Bombers sorting it out off half-back. Johnson again collected heavily. Crouch gives Hall another chance. He's got it again. What a battle between those two. Fantastic stuff. Barry Hall worked really hard tonight. 7 to 8 marks now.
Yep. He's just presented well. Been a terrific contest. We've said that all night. So many of his kicks have been from the boundary line, though.
He's kicked 3 goals, 3. This would be a magnificent kick if he could get a goal. Whoa! Almost the mark. And a behind on the board. Adam Goods, he's exciting. Doesn't always take the mark, but, gee, he gives you a thrill.
Almost looks as though he's about a week away from grabbing them, doesn't he? He's got his hands on a lot more balls. He just doesn't quite hang on to them tonight.
The Bombers by 10 points. This champion team has responded in the best possible way.
Gee, what's happened here? Only taken the 2 marks, Adam Goods, and I reckon he's dropped about 6, Malcolm.
Yep.
Wellman looks for Ramanaskas, and we have a throw-in at Swans half-forward line.
Just thinking, whichever team wins this, it's a great win, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, both sides have got their pluses why the win would be great.
Throw in. Mott knocks it into space, but McVeigh gets there first for Essendon. Back into the middle of Stadium Australia. The race is on. It's Jacobs against Fixter. Fixter got knocked down. Clever work by Jacobs. Here come the Bombers. Inside 50. Alessio again. Alessio's got 3. Goes short.
Play on, the umpire's called. Play on.
To Harvey. Play on, says the umpire. Now the ball spills free. It's Schauble. The little underground handball. And we have a throw in 50 metres out from the Bombers' goal. Now there is the crowd. And it is 54,129, which is a new record, not only for a Sydney game, but for any game outside Victoria. The previous best was almost 50,000 at Footy Park for the derby last year between the Crows and the Power.
And considering the weather, that is a terrific figure for the AFL. It's cold. It's been wet in Sydney. Now a lot of them want there's a Swans win, but there's a lot of Essendon voices here tonight as well. Williams again, Hall. He's too far out this time, Barry Hall. Wanted to give the handball off. Runs the arc, O'Loughlin, the man most likely. He's got to work hard here, Michael O'Loughlin. He does that. He's also too far out to score. Brockman makes the lead from the square. Goods is back there in the goal square, demanding it. Jacobs is stalking him.
Gee, Goods would be the option.
Yeah, he's got to beat 2 Bombers if he does go to him. Hall's back there as well, standing about 30 out from goal, calling for it. O'Loughlin saying, get back down there, Barry, I need you. He might go for a big torp here. Oh, well, some sort of delivery. Can Goods take it this time? No. Mark or free kick.
Just reluctant to kick it long to Goods in the goal square straight after he took the mark. Just took a bit too long.
Heffernan with the relieving ball for the Bombers. 12-12-84 Essendon. 10-14-74 Sydney. We're getting towards the 20-minute mark of the last quarter. Good body work by Mott. Kirk, Crouch, again good shepherding. Allowed McPherson. Now Matthews around the corner. Only Essendon bodies back there. Jacobs sliding in well. Another mark to Danny Jacobs. Again, he's been terrific. 16 possessions, 7 marks.
You're not happy, Malcolm?
No, because you had more time in that. Most times you do in footy. Got to give some awareness.
Scott Lucas has his 3rd bounce as he takes the ball out of defence. Now make it 4 bounces for Lucas as he drills it long. It's all Swans. And the mark's taken by Maxfield. Maxfield wastes no time. He finds McPherson at half-back. And he make amends for that poor kick a short time ago. He goes long. His target is Saddington. Saddington's paid the mark. In fact, I think he got the free kick in the end. So Saddington wastes no time. Handballs over the top to Matthews, who's found some space. Good hard running by him as he goes long. Good slipped over at the vital moment. Back of the pack, free kick.
Yep.
Against free kick to
Paul Salmon in picture. He knows he's back playing AFL. He's had to be on the ground for just about the entire game. Just a little bit of a nudge in the back there.
Carousella. So the Bombers steadying very well in this last quarter. 10 points the margin. They've kicked 3-3 to 2-2.
Salmon just sitting across the half-back line for the Bombers. Alessio playing in the forward 50. Hill on the bench. Hill played the 3rd quarter. Geez, he's gone backwards.
He's gone backwards a long way to Jacobs, but he's got space in front of him. Beckoning a teammate to get into the clear, and now one provides. It's Mark Johnson giving them so much run and dash. Accelerates and then gets it in quickly. Alessio again. No, McVeigh, his little mate next to him, popped up to take it, and if he kicks a goal here, it'd be very hard to see the Swans getting up in a low-scoring affair.
Great hard running by Mark Johnson, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I guess Peveril going backwards just enabled them to have a different option to take it out on that wide wing, and their foot skills are so good they just keep hitting each other.
Well, we've seen a fair few misses at this end, and that is another one. The Swans in their 2 goes at that end kicked 7 goals 8, and Essendon have kicked 4 goals 9 at that end. So there's 5 minutes remaining, and just to give you some idea, the first quarter went 31 minutes, the second 29 minutes, and the third quarter 30 minutes. And we've gone 21, almost 22 minutes in this quarter.
Maxfield looking for Mott. Good shepherding off the ball by Goods. Mott decides to play on. Goods has got 40 metres in front of him. He can run on and kick a goal. Adam Goods drills it long. It's offline and it's rushed through for a behind. Gee, could have got a bit further, Adam Goods. But it's very easy from up here sometimes. So it is 85 playing 75. The Bombers by 10 points. 22 minutes and 22 seconds ticked over.
Swans going one-on-one almost all over the ground at the moment. Jacobs. Didn't quite make good contact. Good. Oh, no, wasn't.
Strong
It's a
mark.
good attempt to spoil it. Yeah. Johnson too strong in front. Had a very quiet night.
Strong mark.
Moves it quickly. Blumfield lurking out wide. Wasn't sure whether to let it go out or not. Good thing that he kept it alive. Heffernan so clever at getting clear, giving the Bombers another chance. McVeigh, Alessio, Carosella, Harvey looking dangerous. Mercury run down. It was all right, said the umpire, and now they can escape. A free kick was paid. Fosdyke takes the advantage, delivers for O'Loughlin. Big Mott's on the wing. He wants to go by hand. He can bring it into Maxfield. He goes for Mott. Distributing now to Maxfield. Has to kick quickly because they were all on his left foot, and that's the result. Fletcher tracking it down, stalking the ball, but he's overcooked the kick, and it's over the line and out of bounds. 12-13, 85 Essendon, 10-15, 75 Sydney. 10 points the difference.
Yes, and this is where cool heads usually win the game. Guys that just want to hang on to the footy because everyone's getting tired, and skill becomes of the essence.
Mott against Salmon. They both miss it. Back of the pack is Pembrell. Slips over at the crucial moment. Did well though to get it out to Barnard. Bangs it long back inside 50, Alessio. No mark. Shawble on hands and knees. Good effort to Kirk. Now to Williams. Williams backs himself. Mott. Swans a chain of handballs, ends up with Bennett. Now Bennett's target is Hall. Fletcher's going to pick him off. He does. Front and centre is McPherson. He's got a player on. It's a 2-on-1 contest. It's a mark. It's a play on. Nix is going to get another one. He's made hard work of it, but it's a goal. Nix has got 4. It's a 4-point game in favour of the Bombers. And we've got 24.5 minutes in the final quarter.
Well, Saddington was on in the middle for a long, long time. I mean, you're sitting up here and saying, just look and see him. But the contest was good from Fletcher and Hall. And then the kick that really did. Once again, had a lot more time than that. And Nick's able to get his opponent back under the ball because he had to go to Saddington. And betwixt and between, he made the right option and kicked the goal himself.
Oh, we're loving this Saturday night football.
It's another Saturday night special.
Yeah, it's always close. The Swans out of the middle. Creswell, he was the hero in Sydney, of course, a month or so ago. They need something tonight. Bombers in front, leading by 4. Wellman going for the boundary line. Reynolds, will it stay in? It does, just. Still it's alive. Reynolds did well to win the footy. Made it tough for Harvey. Swans with a bit of extra body there. Oh, good pressure though.
Jason Johnson tackled magnificent, and Reynolds has got the fresh legs for the Bombers. Now that's deliberate.
And he's been ping.
And
umpire being consistent.
Umpire Brett Allen picked that up.
So Blumfield penalised, Creswell to take it. Creswell's had 20 possessions tonight for the Swans. Goes for Barry Hall again. Wellman in front. Good decision by Hall to spoil. Kept it alive. Bombers got numbers around the ball. Fletcher, great smother. Here's the Swans breaking through Hall. Gets it in quickly. It's wide though. And did it bounce? It did, but over the line. So penalty free kick to be taken again by Danny Jacobs.
Alessio doing the ruck work for Essendon. Salmon's gone to the goal square completely exhausted.
We've gone 26 minutes. There's been only 6 goals kicked in this quarter. The last quarter, which had 6 goals in it, was the third, and that went 30 minutes.
To the wing. McPherson for Sydney. Goes long. Mott's behind. Mott marks! 20 metres out, directly in front. And the big fella can kick a goal. The Swans are back in front.
He just stood his ground. He's a huge man. And I think it was McPherson who got the kick in. And he's pretty fresh because he spent the first half on the bench. A long kick to the danger spot. And Denny Jacobs was his opponent, and he wasn't close enough to get a fist on it.
The 21-year-old in his 9th game of football has not kicked a goal in the big time yet.
Just watching his skills around the ground, though, he looks a competent kick. Now, that's absolutely mozzed him now, isn't it?
Oh. So Ricky Mott has not kicked a goal in league footy. He is directly in front. 20 metres out, if he kicks this, the Swans are in front at the 27-minute mark. Mott, it's awkward. It's missed.
Of course.
The Swans trail by 3 points, and look at Rodney Eade.
Why would you want to coach?
Oh, the kid, he'd be so disappointed.
Fletcher with the footy. 27.5 minutes gone in the last quarter.
Enormous space up the middle of the ground.
12-13-85 to 11-16-82. Sorry,
yeah, Bombers have got numbers on this flank.
Mercury not completing the mark. Boundary line was the target. Swans keep it alive. Well done. Ran out of space, Bolton. Oh, Fosdyke, and that's the footwork letting them down as it has for much of the night.
It's disappointing.
It's that poise under pressure, isn't it?
Yeah. And Nick Fosdyke's been playing league footy for 3 or 4 years now. He's got his 60 games up.
Just repeating that the last quarter went 30 minutes and 21 seconds, and there were 6 goals kicked in that term. We've gone 28.5 minutes. Barnard, Lucas, the target. Young Reynolds stood up. Swans have got numbers inside here.
Quick bowl check. Right, still empty. Disaster. I'm utterly obsessed with food. Resolve never ever to eat leftovers. Ah, whiskers. Yummy. Single life looking better every day.
This program brought to you by the just launched 3.2-litre turbo direct injection diesel Mitsubishi Pajero.
G'day and welcome to the Better Homes and Gardens Great Outdoors Hour. Now for once, young Ernest, I know exactly where you're going, don't I?
Yep, me and the team packing our suitcases because we're heading off to a brand new time slot. 7:30 Monday nights for a bigger 1 hour Great Outdoors. Woo. Where every weekend will become a long weekend for our viewers.
Yep, so this Tuesday is the last Tuesday after Better Homes and Gardens.
Yeah, but what a show it's going to be, Nae.
Oh, yeah?
How'd you like to escape for the weekend?
Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah, well, tonight we've got a very special show. It's all about great Aussie weekend escapes.
Oh.
For families.
Well, that's me.
People on a budget.
That's me.
Chucking a bit of luxury.
Oh, that's definitely me.
Oh, bring on the weekend.
Bring on the show.
The first rule of gardening.
I think we're finally in position to get this project finished for the boys.
If it doesn't rain.
Never mention rain.
We're having a little bit of a problem.
A race against time and the elements.
It's gardening on the run.
Ground Force, Wednesday, 7:30. Then, why are there storm clouds over this mansion?
It's just too big a house for the area.
Very difficult to sell. Could this dream home be the buy of the century?
It'll be cheap at twice the cost.
Hot Auctions, Wednesday at 8 on Channel 7.
You want to use your frequent flyer points here, but the next available flight is here. Add it up to here. With the National Gold Rewards Program, you can fly anytime with any airline. Call 131312 about a National Gold card today.
Did I tell you I've got a new squeeze?
Never.
True.
Who?
Not who. It's actually a what.
What then?
Advantage Duo from Bayer. Treats heartworm and fleas with one easy squeeze.
Heartworm and fleas?
Yes. The unique action of Advantage Duo provides heartworm control and fast-acting flea control all year round.
Oh, sounds good. Where do I get it?
Ask your vet.
In Strawberry, in Install-A-Ream. Install-A-Ream.
For the hottest of hot water you've ever seen, Ream comes on steady, hot and strong. It just keeps on and on. Install-A-Ream. 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 Install-A-Ream.
New Biozet colour with breakthrough ColourTech activator. It revives dull colour so your clothes look bright again.
Happy birthday, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Your brother's so sweet.
Hey, nice one, mate.
Yeah, great shirts.
Picked it out myself.
New Biozet colour.
Most popular toy for toddlers. $26 on the internet. Most popular stuffed animal for toddlers. $35 on the internet. Most popular picture book for toddlers. $12 on the internet. Watching her play with the cardboard box instead? Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Accepted at stores all over the internet. Tonight, what if your doctor's mistake could cost you your own life?
And how about if that doctor was your own mother?
Oh, Jasmine, I'm so sorry.
All Saints, tonight on 7.
You know why we call this...
Noble Rise Crunchy Toast, now in a fruit loaf. Extra crispy and crunchy on the outside, deliciously soft and fruity on the inside. Its time at rest makes Noble Rise taste best.
Fact, we all need a fast way to get out of a mess. Fact, Pino Clean Rapid Dry Floor Cleaner is the only one you need. It cleans and kills 99.9% of germs. Plus, it dries in minutes. Remember, it's not clean unless it's Pino Clean.
A secure future can give you the control you need in life. Ask about making the most of your retirement with Perpetual. Invest with Perpetual.
You've got two types of people. You've got those who go for cloth and those who go for leather. Now, the cloth seats are fine, don't get me wrong, but you should always go for leather because leather is easier to keep clean.
You'd be popular too if you're offering tax-free cars and trucks like XL Utes, tax-free, and Laser LXI, tax-free, but it must end June 30 and only from your Ford dealer.
Ordinary tissues are fine until you have to use them again and again. That's why you should use the tissue with 3 plies of Kleenex softness enriched with soothing aloe vera. Kleenex with aloe vera is pure heaven on a sore red nose. Time after time.
Would you like one?
Yes, please. Kleenex aloe vera soothes a sore red nose. Thank goodness for Kleenex tissues.
Interest rates. How will another rise affect you and your family? 7 News to...
Tasty and exotic chicken casserole.
Injuries hit hard this week on the club as reality bites. 6 players are under the hammer. 3 will stay. 3 will never return. You'll decide their fate. Who will survive? Find out in the club. Thursday, 7:30.
Next time you're thinking of having potatoes, why not try rice instead? You don't have to wash it. You don't have to peel it. You don't have to mash it. You don't have to add anything. In fact, all you have to do is eat it. Rice, the convenient alternative from Sunrise.
Sensitivity to cold and hot is only the tip of the iceberg. It could be the sign of deep down problems such as gum disease. Left untreated, gum disease can develop and add to your pain. New Sensodyne Dual Protection helps kill the bacteria that can cause gum disease. Used daily, it forms a barrier against the pain of sensitive teeth and protects against early gum problems. New Sensodyne Dual Protection, protecting sensitive teeth and gums.
Today, Brand Power explains why you need probiotics for inner health and how you get them with your cools.
Probiotics are good bacteria designed to help maintain the balance in your digestive system. Yakult offers a unique and tasty way of replenishing your good bacteria. The Shirota strain in Yakult is guaranteed to reach your intestines where it'll do the most good. All it takes is one bottle any time of day. Look for Yakult at your supermarket. Brand power, helping you buy better.
Strike one! Strike two!
Time out!
Sometimes doing things just a little differently can help you reach your goals a lot faster. To see how our advisors can help make a real difference to your investments, call into any Bank of Melbourne branch or visit our website.
It was just a routine exercise. But something went wrong.
What do you believe happened out there?
Was it an accident or a foul case of murder?
Can you prove this?
Can you prove I'm wrong? All new Jag, Thursday on 7.
This program brought to you by the just launched 3.2-litre turbo direct injection diesel Mitsubishi.
658-242 in the next 3 hours to subscribe. We'll give you 3 issues free. That's just $50 for Highland Magic. I'll show you how to afford the best education for your children. And joining us next week at 8 o'clock, Scott and the Room for Improvement team are back in a brand new series.
The best part is, the family here get to keep whatever cash is left over.
So there's plenty to look forward to next week with Scott and the team joining us. So I hope you'll join us for all that and much more besides. In the meantime, you take care, have a terrific week. And now, for the last time, on a Tuesday, I'll hand you over to Ernie and the Great Outdoors crew. Take care. We'll miss you, Ern. Bye-bye. Delicious. Touch there?
There you are.
This program proudly brought to you by the Toyota End of Financial Year Sale.
Yeah, my dog's called Imelda, and we have exactly the same taste in shoes.
Imelda.
She looks at me with those eyes. Oh, she's just too special. There's plenty more shoes, but there's only one Imelda. She has got a real eye for labels. Oh, with her taste, I just have to feed her my dog. Beef strips and spring vegetables. Bit tastier than this, eh? I mean, my dog is always in excellent taste.
Pino Clean presents the facts of life.
Yes!
Fact, messing up the floor is child's play. Fact, we all need a fast way to get out of a mess. Fact, introducing Pino Clean Rapid Dry Floor Cleaner.
Look, Dad.
The only one you'll ever need. No buckets. Pino Clean Rapid Dry quickly cleans and kills 99.9% of germs. Plus, it dries in minutes. Remember, it's not clean unless it's Pino Clean.
Next time you miss a call, simply dial *10# and we'll retrieve the number for you. *10#. Try it next time you miss a call.
Want to see how Aussie can help you pay off your home loan by half-time? Call Aussie on 13 13 33 and a local consultant will come to you at Aussie.
Join AOL in June and you could win one of 5 trips for 4 to Warner Brothers Movie World on the Gold Coast, where you'll be amongst the first to ride the Scooby-Doo Spooky Coaster. But the fun doesn't stop there. AOL also gives you unlimited downloads and live chats with the stars. Hurry, promotion ends June 30. Call 1-800-265-265 now and experience the AOL difference.
This end of financial year, Toyota really means business. Which means the best bargain around town is a 1.3-litre manual 3-door Eco BBTI with free air and power steering from just $14,490. And with a driver's SRS airbag, safety cell, funky digital dash and immobiliser fitted as standard, a brand new Eco could be your niftiest buy of the year. So jump into your local dealer before the end of this financial year while this great deal is being done. You get the feeling Toyota really means business.
Soap Wars.
Is this
careful what you use on your hands.
Traditional versus liquid.
Some of them felt a bit like dishwashing liquid.
Cleanliness, health, value.
Total waste of money.
What's best for your skin?
There's a lot of residue.
6:30 on Today Tonight.
If you thought taking off to the holiday house meant packed off before,
and you get to eat them too.
Tonight's 7 News weather update comes to you.
Good evening. The fine weather continues throughout Victoria. Another frosty night, then fine and mostly sunny conditions to follow, with some high cloud gradually building in the west. The northerly wind will push temperatures a few degrees above normal. As for Melbourne, fine, partly cloudy skies tomorrow. Forecast top of 18 degrees, down to 7 tonight. Thursday, windy with a little rain developing towards evening. Friday, cold, wet and windy and 16. Good night.
What happened to Brendan's party?
Brendan's dad? Where is everyone?
Out or in bed?
Smells good. What is it?
Teriyaki stir fry.
I forgot these.
Thank goodness you're here. Sam?
Yum. Hey, Mum, I can do this.
That's good. There's another packet in the freezer.
Create a teriyaki stir fry in 15 minutes.
Thanks, Mum.